You know it, Leon, #1 in the chat. Our friend from the UK. I officially lost 1 subscriber on YouTube. I'm down to 19. I'm down to 19. Coming on up. YouTube, I'm blowing up YouTube, yo. Watch out, YouTube. I'm coming. Wow, 7 viewers right up. Oh, 6 viewers. 6 viewers on Twitch. Sorry. 6 viewers. No, thank you so much to everybody who's popping in immediately. Nate Slayer's in this motherfucker. Nate Slayer's in this motherfucker. All the OGs, regulators showing right up. Mount up, regulators. I hope you were mounting up yesterday. Because, yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about it. No kings, baby. No kings. Yeah, we're going to talk about pedophiles, of course. Get on with it. I'm anxious. Well, this music should help soothe you because this music definitely doesn't make anybody anxious at all. This creepy electronic music, right? You feel at ease. That's what my stream does to people. It makes people feel at ease. Me watching liberals actually protest. I know. It took, I mean, like, you know, look, whatever it takes, right? But we are going to talk about it. Ugh. No. But we are going to talk about it. And yes, would you believe I'm not satisfied? I know. Would you believe that I'm not, that I want more? Would you believe that? That it's not enough to defeat fascism just to show up one day? With that said, we're not going to poo on the party quite yet, okay, folks? Because if you were there, like I was, it was awesome. Largest protest in American history. Congratulations if you participated. And no, you did not have an excuse if you lived in a foreign country. Okay? This thing was going down everywhere but Botswana. Okay? So big props to the No Kings protest. Couldn't be happier, couldn't be prouder. Just, you know, it was super good vibes. So what do you guys want to see? Promethean, what do you want to see? Do you want me to show you video and pictures from the protests that happen all over the place? Do you want to see my coverage of the protests? Do you want to see news interviews about the protests? What do you want? Those are the 3 things that we're going to be doing today, protest related. Which one do you want, Promethean? I ask you out of respect for you because you're always showing up. You're always showing up. So where do you want it? Where do you want it, baby? Gross. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it gross. I always do that. I apologize. I'll leave. I'll just go now. I'll just end the stream. Click that button. Okay. Bye now. Also, lost subscriber may have been me. My subscriptions are full, and it keeps unsubbing me from my channels. Oh, really? A likely story. A likely fucking story. I'm the no bullshit guy. You can't bullshit me. How dare you? Big props to Roger Clavenness for this absolutely beautiful creation that he calls Transmission. Put this out 2 days ago, 82 views. Folks, make sure you're subscribing and liking to some of these amazing underground artists that I am lucky enough, the algorithm is like, oh, hey, you're a weird fucker. Here you go. Blop. There you go. No one else wants this, but you do. You're the one guy eating banana candy and black licorice. Here you go, guy. Yeah, you know, I also like the fucking candy corn. I like the candy, you know, the candy corn that no one likes. I like fruit cake. Give me that fruit cake, baby. I've had this for 15 years. Bust it out, crack it open. I'm eating that bitch. Oh, you got some fruit cake? Bust it out, bro. I like it nice and aged and seasoned. Black licorice is so fucking good. I mean, I'll go crazy with it. I did go too far, though. You can go far enough to where, like, I think I tasted what other people taste when they taste black licorice. Because it's sweet to me. but I specifically sought out some like really hardcore black licorice, and I was like, this is disgusting. I hate this. So I'm not a true black licorice fan, but dude, I'll eat that shit till it's like black oozing out of my mouth. Oh my god, I love it. Fucking love black licorice, man. But no, big props to Roger Clavinus for this beautiful creation called Transmission. Folks, welcome to the News Underground. I'm Abandoned Nihilism. 6 minutes ago, maybe I should have done the intro. How you doing? Super stoked. I attended the No Kings protest yesterday. I hope you did. And don't give me your excuses. Don't give me your excuses, because that shit went down everywhere. Everywhere. I like very rich Christmas cakes and Christmas pudding on fire. I like all that shit, dude. I'm such a Christmas freak. I'm a holiday freak. I love Halloween. I love Christmas. You know. Not a big fan of Columbus Day. Not stoked about that coming back. Thanks so much, Donald Trump. Make America Great Again, aka Columbus Day. It's so cool. It's so cool. I'll never forget reading Howard Zinn's book about Christopher Columbus. And it's like documented fact. You know, they don't put this shit in the history books. But it's like, you know, he kept a journal. And he's like, day one, we met the natives. They're so friendly. It's going to be incredibly easy to enslave them. And, you know, it's like you just give them one little bauble and they'll be your slave for life. It's so amazing. It's just such a bounty of human beings that we get to steal. You know, I'm paraphrasing, obviously. Okay, so Promethean did not get back to me about what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and make an executive decision over here. You know, I got to produce my own show. It's ridiculous. So we're going to start with the number one sign, the number one sign of the protest. You pick. I'm too nervous. So here's the number one sign. We're going to start with the best, the absolute best. Number one sign of the protest right here. We're going to start it off. Take a look at this bad boy. Hold on. Here we go. Big props to this lady over here. I'd call Trump a cunt, but he lacks depth and warmth. You get it, fucking girl. You get it. You get it. You absolutely get it. Uh-huh. Okay. You're all thinking it. No, this is great. This is from the No Kings Here account that decides it wanted to give Elon Musk $5 a month. I don't understand that. I really super duper don't understand that, actually. Anyway, moving on. Next thing here. Let me get some tunage here because we're going to be covering some photos here. I got a lot of stuff. It's going to be a lot, just a couple hours of the No Kings protest. So if you're not down for that shit, I totally understand. No biggie. You know, you're like, I came here to watch Ukrainians kill Russians. Okay. And I'm like, hey, man, I 100% get you. And if we have time, we're going to do that. Because Ukraine is just, I'm loving it, man. All right? Call me Justin Timberlake, because I'm loving it. What the fuck is happening out there? Russia can't do shit. And it's crazy, because, like, Donald Trump, you know, the latest meeting, we got to cover it, was Zelensky. There was a shouting match that happened behind closed doors. Donald Trump, after a 2-hour phone call with Putin, is 100% convinced that Russia has some kind of secret card that they haven't played yet, that they're gonna roll, you know, like, I think, like, he honestly is, Donald Trump is incapable of forming his own conclusions about the battlefield. He's incapable of taking the data that's provided to him and making his own assessments, because the only way you can believe what Donald Trump believes is if you listen to Vladimir Putin and you just believed it. Right? So you got Vladimir Putin saying, I'm hitting him on this spot, I'm hitting him on that spot. Welcome back, female eunuchs. Right? I'm hitting him on this spot, and that spot, all over the front lines. We got 3 or 4 major engagements. We're taking incredible amounts of territory, and the truth couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm talking 100 football fields away from the truth, man. Shalom. Alaikum salam. Did I do it right? No, I know that's a Jewish thing. Shalom. I love that. I love the Yiddish. I love Yiddish. It sounds awesome. It's so crazy and kooky. I love it. It's known that Trump does not listen to or often understand that Joint Chiefs. He relies on his aides to dumb it down. Yeah, no, it's like the only way you could come to the conclusion that Donald Trump came to with Ukraine is that if you just literally are not making your own independent assessment of the battlefield and you're just listening to Vladimir fucking Putin. And of course, we're going to talk about Pete Hegseth's tie. That's probably all going to happen tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. I got Halloween coming up as well, so you might not actually see any streams until after Halloween. Well, on Halloween night, I'll do the Halloween DJ dance party, and then you know, I'll fly back a couple days later, and then we'll get back to the regular streams here. So hopefully Donald Trump doesn't fuck. I mean, he's talking about invading San Francisco, so I might miss that entire thing while I'm actually trying to have a life. I know. Boo this man. All right, let's get back to the protests here. Big props to DJ Akoza for giving me some background music here. No, so I got a lot of articles and videos, but really let's just stay focused on the No King stuff. We're just going to go through it. Of course, the right wing, you know, doing the best that they can. God bless their hearts. Doing the best they fucking can. F Automod. Well, let's see what you said here. Just a goy trying to be more accepting for my masters. I mean, yeah. Why would it do that? That's kind of anti-Semitic, right? Is goy? Is that a? Hold on, let me look this up. Is that a slur? I didn't know that was a slur. Yeah, a term used by Jewish people for non-Jewish people. Oh, I see. So it's okay. I don't. Okay, so it's okay. I see, but that might be a term that anti-Semitics use to describe themselves. So no, I think we're gonna let Automod do that because the anti-Semites have ruined that word. Sorry. I didn't know that. They over here calling me this. I can't believe that. I'm so offended. He might have ADHD or something. He's got a lot of problems. Totally undiagnosed. So anyway, back to this. Some asshole, you know, the right-wingers, they were desperate for violence. Cops were there, you know, they wanted violence so bad. But this is just, it was really a safe, very, very safe, organized by Indivisible, right? So this, you know, a group almost directly connected to the Democrats. Like we saw Democrats marching in some places. J.B. Pritzker getting in there, doing speeches. They had bulletproof glass set up, you know, for Mehdi Hassan and other speakers. So, you know, it was, you know, it's that corporate Democrat money that helps, that support of that institution really helps. So it was a very, very safe protest. There was absolutely I don't think there was any violence whatsoever. The only violence was literally from right-wing elements waving guns around, and in this case, just randomly dropping a tear gas fucking canister. That's cool, right? Just trying to create chaos, trying to create, you know, come on, do something. Please, I need content. You know, all these right-wingers out here, I have several examples. Right-wing grifters being like, these pussy-ass liberals didn't do anything when I tried to provoke them. You know, it's like, that's all they have. It's just like, oh, and then they left orderly on time. Look at this. They all left. They didn't even occupy the area and break anything or burn anything down. Can you believe these punks? So they got fucking nothing. They got nada. And it's interesting. I'm going to show you an interview with people that you could define as Antifa, like literally, you know, like as an organization loosely. We're going to watch this interview, and they're not even interested in participating because strategically it makes no sense right now. Let these clowns walk around empty streets, unprovoked, right? Picking up trash in a peaceful city. You know, Donald Trump, it's a war zone. It's a war zone. I've sent in the troops. We're going to clean this up. And they're like picking their nose, hanging around New York subways, doing jack shit except racially profiling people. And like people from Antifa are like, yeah, that's actually a better strategy than to be intentionally like, you know, put yourself in danger and to be surveilled, you know, with all this new technology that they're implementing. You know, everybody that's going to these ICE protests, you know, right outside the facility. And I think that's good that they're doing that. But they are being, you know, added to lists and scanned, and God knows what shot at, of course, with pepper balls. But anyway, the agent provocateurs were out here. Thelma is apparently reacting. Holy shit, that's what this was. It was actual tear gas. There were a bunch of kids over there. Like, is this person literally just a 17-year-old man? A boy child? It's not really an old woman, right? She won yesterday. As the millennials say, she won the internet. God, I hate millennials. So, see, this is what I mean from the right wing over here. And just like that, they're gone. Slam dunk. Got them. Liberal, they don't care. They don't care about anything. Look at how clean the streets are and everything. No garbage. Remember that last thing I showed you with the fucking Republican, March for Freedom or whatever the hell they were doing? Or is the Charlie Kirk thing? And they were just like, they left lawn chairs, like $25, $30 fucking lawn chairs everywhere, like dozens of them. They just left them there. Just garbage everywhere. They turned the whole thing into fucking, the Ganges River. Sorry, the Ganges, but it's true. Clean that shit. Stop bathing in it. My God. Holy ass river. It's poop water. Okay? Fix your river. You're dumping sewage directly into the Ganges River and then okay. I don't know how a leader, it's India, right? That's where the Ganges River is, right? I don't know how a president or a leader can get away with what's happening in that fucking river and still hold on to power and stuff. It blows my mind. So Evan over here talking about, oh shit, did the Antifa Hamas loving terrorists disperse after the peaceful protest ended? Heaven forbid. Can't have that. Oh, look, they didn't even leave a massive mess either. And look, here's the thing. We're not going to win by protesting this way. But it's a start, right? It's a start. People got their feet wet. They're going to come back to it. They felt good about it. They're going to want to do it again, until the problem is solved. So it felt good. And it's like, I guess we're going to have to kind of do both, right? We're going to have stuff like this, super safe. It's all good. Absolutely no plans on making it anything more than it is. And then also the super aggressive kind of protesting as well. We're kind of going to need to do both, huh? Right? This is where we're at right now, because we kind of need both, because regular folks don't want to show up to that all night black bloc tear gas fest. Okay, they're not showing up. All right, they got families and shit. But we need the numbers. We need their support, right? If it comes down to it, there's more of us than them, and they know that, and that's why they're going after us immediately, because they know that. I've said this before, but if there is going to be an element that defeats Donald Trump, it will be the left, likely the progressive left, because as we've seen from the neoliberal corporate left, yeah, you fucking said it, from the goddamn neoliberals, they're practically incapable of fighting. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, there it is. Yep, you said the word. Right, completely incapable. They're right back to fundraising and like performative theater every other week or something, some performance. Chuck Schumer embarrasses himself every time he gets in front of the mic talking about aroused, some other bullshit he said just recently. Oh, making fun of, he was like Kentucky fried French fries or something. It was just like stupid. Get off the fucking stage. So Donald Trump understands that if there is an element that's going to defeat him, it's going to be the left. And guess who just became enemy number one? Not just black folks, not just gay folks, not just illegal immigrants. No, us. Us. For real. Not a fucking joke. So here's the kind of shit that the right wing are posting. They're embracing Trump, the Trump image as a king. Obviously we got screaming liberals. By the way, let me just reiterate, this person was correct. 100% correct. This reaction is actually an underreaction to what this man is and what this man has created. I 100% support this reaction. I support this woman or man, I'm not sure, sorry. They, them. I support this person wholeheartedly. And their expression of terror and horror and frustration and anger. Has this person not been proven right 100%? Yeah, I've seen the OG video. Just on the ground, fucking knowing exactly what this man is and what he's capable of and what he's promised, right? Because he wasn't lying to us. No, seeing what Project 2025 was. Was this the second or the first one? Was this reaction even to the first term? It's appropriate either way. And I just wanted to put my support behind this poor person who's been, obviously turned into the visage of hyperbolic left. It was the first term. Well, this person was correct. It was a disaster the first term, an absolute fucking nightmare. I wonder what this person, I bet this person literally just took a nap. Just like, during the second one. Did a fucking Felix from the Chapo Trap House. Remember that stream when we were looking for random streams, during the election there, and like Felix is like blasting noise music and like a speech from some leftist, and he's like playing video games, but you don't get to see the video game. It's just him on the computer. So everybody else is like covering this, and he's doing that. And like at the time, I was like, what the hell is this? This is stupid. But now I get it. Felix was right. Now I get it. But it's, the more frightening thing, now that I've had my diatribe, every time I see this picture, I want to defend this person because they were correct, objectively. And I'm not going to let that rest. But really, the more frightening thing is Trump is king. And they love it. They think this shit's great. They keep telling us, and we're not reacting appropriately, because the protest was great, but we should do literally, it's general strike. That's what we need to talk about. Come on. It's right. Thank you, Stream Elements. Perfect timing. It's a general strike. That's what we need. And MSNBC don't want to be talking about no general strike. Okay, CBS, ABC, CNN. What? Is that a baseball thing? Never heard of that. Never heard of a general strike. Democrat Hakeem Jeffries, J.B. Pritzker, they don't want to be talking about no general strike. No. Why? Connections to corporations, AIPAC, all that shit. But that's what we got to be talking about. It's not enough, man. They're going full. Look at this. They think it's the coolest shit ever. Monarchy. A king. A kingdom. And of course, they see themselves as part of this kingdom. Everyone else, inside group that the law protects, outside group that the law assaults, whatever that clever saying is. You've heard it. Blah, blah, blah. You've heard it. Oh, sorry, this is a different story. This is about the United States violating the sovereignty of Colombia now. This is the president of peace. We'll cover this one later. We're doing more protest stuff. So here's another right-winger reaction. Like, look at this. This is so pathetic. She's such a savage, okay? Tiffany Savage. Ugh. Hey, y'all. I went to a No Kings rally today wearing my MAGA hat in Athens. And guess what they said to me? Huh? Guess what they said to me when I looked at them in my MAGA hat? And what'd they say to me? Nothing. They just gave me a bunch of funny looks. They didn't know what to do when Savage pulled up. Please, can I have a job? Please? I'm a tarted up whore. Please put me on your TV. I'll say whatever you want, fascists. I'm a savage. I can't wait to disenfranchise millions of Americans. I'm a savage. Please, One American News. Can I have a job yet? Do you look like a whore? Oh, totally. I'm a 50-year-old man's wet dream. Oh, you're fucking hired. Put yourself in a short skirt and get your ass on TV. Come on. Go ahead. Talk about Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump. That's right. You do that, baby. They pimp them out. These fucking bimbos that they put on their fucking news networks, they're pimping these bitches out. That's all I'm going to say. All right, B-Ree isn't here, okay? I can be sexist now. Oh, I can't? You're telling me, no, I can't. I'm going to get... Well, I don't... Oh, okay. They're telling me I can't be sexist. Sorry. Hold on. I want to get this actual video. I don't know what the hell are they doing here? Look at this. We're playing the tiny video on the website. The whole thing, huh? Just the whole bing bang boom, huh? Why are we doing this? Whose idea was this? Is it like the attention span thing? Because like you don't want to watch the video just exclusively. You also need like other shit on the screen so you can read and look at other stuff and check your phone. It's a 3-minute video. Anyway, I'm just gonna get this. I had a Trump is a pedo sign. Hell yeah. Real awkward moment when the kid asked me what. Ooh, jeez, yikes. Thankfully, mom came up, pulled him away. She came back later and said he was old enough to know what the whole world meant, but not the shortened version. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Socializing sapien. Well, you know, look, I mean, I think it's gruesome and weird and, you know, maybe soften it up a bit, but I do think, you know, children should probably understand what a predator is and the names that, you know, so it's unfortunate, you know, unfortunately we don't live in a time where we can hide those things from our kids for too long, right? Because it's very, very real. So where is this? Queen City Happenings. Let me just get this here. City happenings, no incidents or arrests. Let's see if I can just find this article. Yeah, here we go. And I can play the video in full screen for you instead of whatever this Zoomer nonsense is. Okay, where's the video? Can I have video, please? Okay. Okay, so is this... Did the Zoomer find a different video to put up over the article? Or the video no longer worky? Okay. Charlotte. Okay. What am I supposed to do with this, man? Okay, who is this? All right, hold on. We're doing this. ABC News. Okay, we're doing this. Okay, folks, we're doing this. All right, we're doing some detective work. ABC News. Get the fuck. Charlottesville. I don't know how you spell it, whatever. Oh, come on. No Kings, 8 years ago. Yeah, I wanted something from 8 fucking years ago. That's what I'm looking for. YouTube. The fuck is YouTube doing? All right, see, is this the right video? Well, it's close enough. It's coverage of the protest. Let's see, they got this one here. This slick motherfucker. No, we're good. Let's do this one. Here we go. I just want to get some live video of the protest. Good enough. Good enough.
Everyone, right now.
Stop caring about what kids say in kids group chats.
Right now. And text no Trump to 1-855.
No, adults absolutely have the obligation to be observing what their kids are saying when congregating with other kids. It's not, you know, kids don't deserve complete and total fucking privacy, okay? Now, should a sensible parent give their kids some space to breathe? Absolutely. But is it a parent's obligation to, you know, to peek in once in a while? Oh yeah, yeah. You could be raising an asshole, you could be raising a psychopath, you could be raising a pervert, you could be raising a bully. Okay, you could be raising a fucking, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You as a parent have an obligation to make sure your kid knows what's right and wrong. It's not your obligation to just let little Billy roam around the fucking internet unsupervised. Okay? We have a serious problem with Zoomers and Gen Alpha being socio-fucking-pathic. Sociopathic. All right? I goon to U.S. politics? Oh, fuck yeah, baby. Whip it out. Let's watch a fucking Buckley v. Gore debate. Whip it out. I was there in San Diego. That's embarrassing. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I was there in San Diego, Abandoned Nihilism. No Kings, baby. I was like, wait a minute, is there a San Diego? And no, I was thinking that was a state. I don't think you were addressing me. Okay. Generalization is so bad. Not everyone is a sociopath. The logic is worse than what a monkey could formulate. Really? 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 Okay, to make Snoop happy. Yes, indeed, I was generalizing. There's another One Piece. I was indeed generalizing. Not all of them are like that, but all of them are like that. I've said it. They're all like that. You're all a bunch of fucking sociopaths. All of you. MAGA has changed the culture. It's depressing. It's okay to be an asshole now. Well, I mean, it isn't. And that's what this protest proves, is that there's actually millions of people that are like, no, that's actually not cool. I'm actually okay with DEI. I'm actually okay with CRT. I'm actually okay with, you know, talking about things like reparations, et cetera, et cetera. I'm actually okay with treating illegal immigrants like human beings and actually opening up a path for them to find citizenship, right? That's what this protest proves, is that there's millions of people that are actually, that actually totally disagree with this, what feels overwhelming, because they're gobbling up all the media. They're doing everything they can to drive the zeitgeist. It feels like they're winning, and technically in a lot of places they are. But let's not get ourselves down here. Largest protest in American history yesterday. Largest protest in American history yesterday. Over 7 million people, just in America, by the way, because we were participating in Canada, in multiple locations in Canada, participating all over Europe. I was showing that at the end of the stream. So let's not get it twisted. America is not ready for a dictator. They don't want a monarchy. Oh, this is Israel stuff. Sorry. Sorry, I should check on stuff before I click it. Yeah, that's Colombia. All right, yeah, we're going to do this interview. I want to do the Bartiromo interview. This interview is where he declares war on San Francisco. He's talking about invading San Francisco next, which is going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it. This is what Joe Rogan thinks of the No Kings protest. It's been removed. That's great. That's super awesome. That's cute. By the person who posted it. But anyway, this was a clip of Joe Rogan denigrating the protest, saying we're a bunch of losers. Right? He's a centrist, though, guys. Off-topic, editorialized. Right. This because it's not covered by the Decoding the Gurus podcast. Moderators, there needs to be a way for people to challenge the moderator. You know, there needs to be a way for people to be like, you know, overwhelmingly, we disagree with you and you need to put it back. This is so fucked up. It's the most censored website on planet Earth. Snoop, I've decided I don't like you, and you're going to be the first person I flush today. I'm just going to go ahead and rip you out of here. I don't like you one bit. Go ahead. There we go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Double flush. You were giving me a big stink. You were giving me a big whiff. I don't like you one bit. I'm going to go ahead and double it. Here we go. Downtown LA. Scenes from the protest. Trying to keep it positive, trying to keep it going, right? And this guy, he's clearly trying to derail and you know, be negative and denigrate and, you know. People that come in that, like, they're like, I'm going to take over the stream and I'm just going to fucking shit on you and fucking blah, blah, blah. It's like, nah, I'm good on that, man. I know that's what you like to do. It's like, you know, you expect, like, because there's an expectation that I just absorb this abuse, that I just take it, right? No. Not here. I'm everyone's asshole outside of this stream, but Jesus Christ, at least in my own chat, I don't let people just be mean to me. I don't like it. So here we go. Here's Mr. Big Bad Ice Here's the war zone Donald Trump wanted. Oh, thank you, female eunuchs. Dundee man.
All those people that are protesting on the streets, 99% of them are losers.
99 with a big fat, expensive stogie in his hand. It's really tired. I'm supposed to be impressed by this. This is supposed to be manly, right? This is what it is cowardly bootlicking for a monarchy. And by the way, they're banning marijuana in his state, his party. He said nothing about it. It's just pathetic. And then, of course, this washed-up comedian.
The other ones work for the Fed.
And then the other 1% work for the Fed. I know this. Horkenback. It's really pathetic. Like even Bill Burr, who's completely destroyed himself, looks at this and is like, "Bro, you're going too far with this. Like this is comic." And he looks over, he looks over to his sycophant. You approve, right? Look at that. You approve. I control you. He's such a pathetic human being, and I can't wait for the quote unquote downfall. Okay, when it all comes back up on him, and he's no longer the Joe Rogan.
Whole joke about that. It's like.
Right, and this fucking washed up piece of fucking crap. We don't need it. 99%, 7 million Americans, and the millions that support what happened, because we were getting honks and everything, all these people, folks that didn't have time. They should have found time, but they didn't find time. But they're honking and showing support. We'll go back ribbons. No queens, sure. So anyway, this is LA. This is the war zone Donald Trump was ready for. Look at that. He's got his fucking canisters and everything. Sorry, buddy. You don't get to use them today. Oh, poor baby. What's next? Are the bubbles going to be considered assault? Is that what's next? Little one bubble hits him and he fucking just... That's it! Bow, 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 bow! Thunk, 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 thunk! I was assaulted! Could have been acid. Could have been. I saw a Batman movie, and the bubbles were acid. I thought that's what they were doing, so I started unloading. Donald Trump, hero, what a hero. There's Tylenol in those bubbles. Chemical munitions, thunk, thunk, thunk. These no compares are the best protests in not the best, but the largest. 7 million people, 0 property damage, 0 trash in the streets, 0 violent rhetoric is everything everyone ever asked for in a protest. There's literally 0 negative narratives you can spin about it. Never felt safer at a protest than these. These are fantastic and American. Even with agitators, these protests are keeping superhuman levels of peacefulness. So, yes, but socializing sapien has being non-disruptive truly ever created change? Surely you would agree that we need to keep it peaceful. Sounds like you're very encouraged by that. I am as well. So I think you would agree that to kick it up a notch instead of going in a violent route, the next thing that this movement needs to be talking about is a general strike, right? That's a peaceful way, not showing up to work, right? It's a peaceful way to show solidarity, to show protest. It's not on the table because an Indivisible is not interested in a general strike. An Indivisible, of course, organized No Kings. They're connected to the neoliberal establishment. So no, it's actually not on the table. It's still a very fringe thing because of the corporate neoliberals that control the left. There it is. Fucking female eunuchs even knew what I was going to say it. So it's actually not on the table. This is great. Very funny. Very funny stuff. I'm not even making fun. This person is a clowning around over here, okay? Got to get the right music. Here we go. Are you intimidated yet? No, you didn't. Chicago mayor, show me the link. Show me the link. I need proof, okay? Because the Chicago mayor and J.B. Pritzker have been nothing but disappointing. I'm going to need proof on the Chicago mayor talking about general strike. And I will be happy to give that person credit because I haven't seen it. I mean, no offense. If you don't have time, you don't have time. You just want to enjoy the stream. But I'm going to need proof on that one because I've seen basically not the opposite, but very, very careful language that avoids talking about very specific things that need to be talked about. All right, no, I trust you. You know, I'll take your word for it trepidatiously, okay? But I want to see some solid proof on that. So Sergeant Spork over here, great job, lovely, and I love this. You know, showing the absurdity. Oh goddamn, this motherfucker all over it. Let's see it. Mayor Brandon Johnson. So he's the black mayor, right? Okay. Oh, okay, baby. Okay. Okay. Someone just woke up from a coma.
If my ancestors as slaves can lead the greatest general strike in the history of this country, taking it to the ultra-rich and big corporations, we can do the same today. I'm calling on black people, white people, brown people, Asian people, immigrants, gay people from around this country to stand up against tyranny and to send the back to the ultra-rich and big corporations. We are going to make them pay their fair share of taxes.
Okay.
Our schools, to fund jobs, to fund healthcare, to fund transportation, democracy will live on because of this generation. Are you ready to take it to the courts and to the streets?
All right. JB Pritzker's got to be doing it. It's a start. This man does not represent the neoliberal establishment right now. Can you agree with me on that one, socializing? That this is not in line with the messaging that's coming out of Hakeem Jeffries' Democratic Party. But that's a start. That's the kind of pressure that needs to be right. We need to see AOC saying it. Ezra Klein would never say it. Ezra Klein over here talking about we need to deregulate industry to get us out of this problem. He's over here talking about cutting corporate taxes and shit. Abundance. Shove it right up his fucking abundance hole. Oh, Promethean, I love it. Are you kidding me? It's great. I love it. I mean, prove me wrong on neoliberal Democratic leaders calling for general strike. Please prove me wrong on that one. That's a start, and it's a big one. He's got to double down. Okay, so doing a big speech and getting a big fucking cheer, but not repeating general strike on MSNBC when you do the follow-up interviews, et cetera. Right? There's a big difference there. I'm impressed that he went that far. I'm impressed that a mayor went that far. Okay, because a mayor. Obviously, he's, these big billion-dollar interests, from all different directions. Commodities, restaurant, tours, fucking, you got builders, real estate. We got Wall Street types coming in. They're coming at you. You talk about general strike, and all of a sudden you have a coalition of every industry and every moneyed individual crying in unison. Don't do that. Don't support that. I can't say it's on anyone's strategy table, but at least the idea is moving in a bit in the right direction. Hey, the words are being said by somebody, okay? We're still baby stepping, even though it's an existential crisis. But look, I'll take that shit. I will absolutely take that shit. No, bring it back. I'm bitching, but go ahead and bring it back. Put it back on the table, please.
Democracy will live on because of this generation. Are you ready to take it to the courts?
See, take it to the courts. And to the streets. So I mean, yeah. Obviously, we should do everything we can to challenge this stuff in the court, but really, we should acknowledge the objective reality that the courts are basically locked down. We can thank Mitch McConnell. We can thank Barack Obama. Quite frankly, we can thank George Bush. But the Supreme Court, obviously, just completely partisan, completely activist. Did you see the preacher at the D.C. protest at the beginning? No, give me the link on that one. I don't have that one either. I'm ready to eat the rich and strike. Me too. No King's hottie over here. Loving it. Looks like it was a beautiful day over here in LA. It was raining the entire time in Vancouver. It was literally raining the entire time. She got the expensive Apple Watch and everything. Ya boy, Mr. Handsome, Mr. Literally in every fucking movie ever made. Pedro Pascal over here seemingly walking amongst regular folks. Look at the nutsack on Pedro. Are you kidding me? This guy rules. This guy absolutely. How about, where people are talking about The Rock? People talk about George Clooney for president. No, how about Pedro for president, yo? I'm down for that. Anybody with the sack, with his kind of status and his kind of money, with the sack to be walking amongst regular folks, knowing damn well that he's not going to get, he's going to be constant like selfies, you're going to be mobbed by everybody. But he understands he's got money, he's got clout, right? He's got fame and he's got time, so he's got an obligation. All right. So Pedro Pascal, one of the real ones. One of the real ones over here, right? I didn't see no Chris Pratt out there. Chris fucking fart. He didn't have, I don't know, Christian, maybe a Christian fascist theocracy is kind of cool, I don't know. Oh, can I still be in your movies? Pedro Pascal knows what real America's about. Chris Pratt doesn't know shit. I don't know why I decided to start shitting on Chris Pratt, but I got you. You're in my fucking crosshairs, buddy. You better watch out, Chris. Fuck Pratt. No, I'm not a fan. I'm really not. Like, his acting is terrible, but he's also like, like I said, Christo Fash. Who knows how far, but he's like, he's all about the dollar, so he keeps his opinions on the DL. But we're going to hear some right-wing shit once his career dies down. Yeah, we're going to need some energy because the Supreme Court seems totally cool to just got the Voting Rights Act in front of us and take us back to 1950s voting procedures. 100%. That's exactly what they're doing. And we got to start talking about general strike. We got to cut it off. A general strike right now, the market would apocalyptically crash because we got a government shutdown, tariffs up the wazoo, gold price, historic highs, literally historic high price for gold, and the bond market is on toothpicks. So a general strike would just be would light that fucking candle. And I don't mean to be accelerationist, but Donald Trump over here riding high. Donald Trump over here just fucking cloud nine. Dubs all day for Donald. And it's unfortunately true. See real Americans out here, upside down flags. This is a crisis. This is a fucking crisis. God, it makes me so proud. No kings, fuck Trump. We're not going quietly. We're not going quietly. Fuck ICE. Man, the chat's absolutely on top of it with the links. How about some props for the chat with the goddamn links? Thank you, B. Reed. Wait, what am I looking at here again? Oh, this is the preacher. Okay.
How's everybody doing out here?
Praise Jesus.
If you came to show love today, come on and make some noise out here.
Make me a believer.
If you came because you believe in peace today, come on and make some love out here. Let every hate-filled heart know that we have gathered today for the purpose of extending and being people of peace. If you believe in that, why don't you make them hear it one more time in here today?
Sorry.
As it's been stated, my name is Pastor Delonte Golston. I do pastor the Peace Fellowship Church in Northeast D.C. I'm born and raised here. Went to elementary school 8 blocks away from here, 3rd and D Street,
no captions,
Southeast. I'm so thankful to be able to stand
Too excited.
in
I'm
this
gassy today.
in this moment. I want to first, before I say anything else, remind us that we are standing on holy ground. I know that you thought that you came just to stand on
Should I take my
Pennsylvania
shoes off?
Avenue, but before there was a Pennsylvania Avenue, before there was a 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, before there was a 3rd and Pennsylvania Avenue, there were the Nacotchland people.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There were the Piscataway people. There were the Powhatan people. Here in this region, trading and living in peace
I'm
with one another.
197. Patatawan.
Until people wearing collars like me decided to displace them. And so we gather to remember that the land that we stand on is sacred land.
Welcome back, Gaius.
And we acknowledge
I don't think we're going to do the whole speech here, but you know what? I'm in the mood. Jesus Christ. I'm in the mood for a little bit of this, so let's hear it.
those who have come before us. We acknowledge the descendants of formerly indentured servants, then becoming slaves who traded with those indigenous Americans on this land. And so you are standing on holy ground. Amen. I want to give honor and gratitude to our Creator, God, and to each representative of our Creator who has gathered here today. I especially want to thank the representation of DC clergy who stand behind me and stand with me on this stage today. Showing you, come on and give them some love.
Hell yeah.
Standing with me today is Pastor Mark Thomas. Standing with me today is Rabbi Esther Letterman. Standing with me, yeah, come on, give them love. In fear and division.
Here we go, baby. Come on. Get through the fucking intro, baby. Come on.
Not with me, you folk who
This is what we're here for.
refuse others who were
Here we go.
of him and put it on the national, and put it
Okay, here we go.
in their land at that time. And those three brothers who were gathered there, those three sacred vessels of holiness, they refused to bow to that king. And I just believe that we have a few folk who are here today who are willing to stand with me and simply say, we will not bow. No, we won't bow to any power that traffics in fear and division. We will not bow.
Right.
We won't bow to an empire or to a regime that believes in separating us by the documentation or the status that we carry or the faith that we witness to or the people that we love or the places that we come from, because our God knows the places that we are going. Our God is not concerned about where we came from.
Your God also protects pedophiles. Okay, anyway, so there you go. That's some good stuff. Lovely. Love to see it. More stuff. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep her moving from LA. Let's finish up this this little slideshow we got here. Wow. What's going on? I'd love to know this guy's story over here. It looks like he's a Buddhist monk, maybe? He's like a monk? Or maybe that's just he's dressing that way. I don't know. Going from 6 foot under to the rest of the God Save Us, God Save the King. Yeah. Goddamn, man. You know? Motherfuckers showing up out here like it's the purge. You know, this was unnecessary. You getting all kitted up. Maybe not. I don't know. Depending on the region, You know, this person might have been on their way to a protest in front of the ICE facility, right? Because goddamn, this guy's all blacked up, black block, all up. He's got the red fucking warrior paint and everything, man. What is it about the fucking stash? The porn stash. Right, guys. Right. Okay. Cute little toy guns you got there. I bet you wish you could just use real ones, huh? Well, one day. These are great. I love these costumes. These are so clever, so funny. This one's great too because you're not totally inside. It's just half. It's just half, right? So you get, it's kind of the best of both worlds. You get the inflatable and you don't have to be inside smelling your own farts all day. That's great. You have that problem too, right? Not just me? Okay, good. Sorry. The porn stash is also the donut officer police stash in a weird way. Yeah, I mean, it's like, bro, you're kind of like, you know, central casting over here, buddy. You know, like, are you seriously going to go home and actually beat your wife? Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing with this? Bus driver. Yep, sitting chilling, you know. Good stuff. He looks like he's really in danger. He looks like he's a bus driver in a war zone. Right? Oh, awesome costume. Wow. Wow. What an elaborate and super cool costume. This is out in LA, so that doesn't surprise me. This person definitely has some skills and talent in the makeup and costume department here. I mean, look at the dress. We got Lady Liberty with the big, beautiful, whatever you call it here, blouse. The face paint. She's all skulled up. Wow. Great stuff. The chain. She's all chained up. My God. That's a statement. Love to see it. And another one. How about you two kiss? How about you two just fucking start kissing? Get those two big old brooms together, huh? Push those brooms together. You and this guy. Push those big old brooms together and kiss each other. Kiss each other on the lips. Do it. Show them how it's done. Show that young whippersnapper how it's done and give him a big old wet one. God. It's a joke, man. Because, you know, like, it'd be one thing if we could trust the police and, okay, this is the archetype and it's a little goofy, but, you know, their heart's in the right place and they follow the law and but no, that's not the police in America. The police in America are dishonest, incompetent, violent, overpaid. Police union protects them at every push, and they're often the tip of the spear when it comes to oppression from the oligarchy, etc., etc. So on top of being, you know, bootlickers for power, they also dress like fucking Howdy Doody or whatever the fuck over here. Can I whisper you a long message I posted to a Trump cultist? I don't give a shit. I'm doing the stream. You go ahead and do whatever the hell you want. At least these guys have the common decency to shave off their porn stash. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're not allowed to have a porn stash unless you're a higher rank. Maybe that's how it works. It's like sumo wrestling. Yes on 50. So of course 50 is the proposition in California. That's going to allow the Gavin Newsom, the governor there, to disenfranchise millions of Republicans, black and white. But we have no fucking choice. We literally have no fucking choice. You know, like a lot of the red states, they didn't do it democratically. They did it underhanded. They did it, you know, in a very authoritarian way. They just, you know, this is the way it's, you know, they didn't put it to the voters. But at least Gavin Newsom's bringing it to the voters, and it's a very popular thing. It does seem like it's going to pass democratically, which is pretty wild. It's one of the most undemocratic things I've ever seen a neoliberal do, outside of Barack Obama, you know, legalizing the Patriot Act and shit like that, you know. But I mean, this is wildly undemocratic. Ironically, being done democratically, it's crazy. Oh, I know. Socializing. I covered that a couple days ago. Him being against Prop 50, right? I thought you were against fascism, but no. Now. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. What I would prefer is to have weak liberals that are easily defeated, that don't fight back, that acquiesce to every overreach of the Republican Party, and the moment they try to defend themselves in any way, oh, stop it, continue to be weaklings, continue to let us step all over you. Welcome back, Ice King. Yeah, Schwarzenegger can fucking kiss my ass. He can fucking kiss my whole ass. And I'm never going to be showing another one of his clips when he wags his finger at Donald Trump. Nazis bad. Ooh, Nazis bad. My dad was a Nazi. I don't think Nazis are bad, but I fully support a Nazi party. I support the modern American incarnation of the Nazi party in America, but I don't like Nazis and fascism. Fuck you. Hypocrite. Rich fucking hypocrite. Up in his $1 million mansion, telling us how to fucking be. How about you retire in silence, you leathery fuck? Folks, just getting ready here. This is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about, right? This is why you got to do the half inflatable, right? It's the best of both worlds. Oh my God, with the porn stashes. Oh, you sound more Danish to me. Sorry. I was not making fun of the Danes. I love them. So here we go, plugging in your face into Palantir. This is what the anarchists are talking about. I'll show you that interview coming up. But why don't you guys just all kiss each other, right? Just try to put each other's penises in each other's penises. Why don't we just get to it, boys? Honestly. Thank you so much for scanning my face into Palantir. If there's any justice in the world, these people like this, this is the LA police, folks. This isn't ICE. This is just how they operate by default, scanning you, putting you in a file, putting you on a list. We have to, it's all normalized. The police state is completely fucking normalized. These guys are supposed to be on our side. These are supposed to be the LA police, right? They're too cowardly to even arrest ICE. ICE not allowed to wear masks. They're supposed to be fully, identification being worn, body cameras being worn. ICE does whatever the hell they want, chasing people through fucking retail stores. Police don't do jack shit. Oh no, but they got all the time and the tech to be scanning your face into a database of no-nos. Here are the no-no people. So they're just reflexively working with the fascist government for their fascist aims. That's just the only way they know how to operate. Right? Because you would think they're on our side. No, that only happens when it's a right-wing protest of some sort. Pro-fash, pro-MAGA protest, and all of a sudden we see the kid gloves. Left-wing protest done by indivisible, connected to the fucking Nancy Pelosi Democratic Party, right? Guaranteed to be peaceful. Oh, let's get all kitted up. Get the face scanner out. So they're just reflexively fascist. Even when it potentially doesn't benefit them to be this way, right? Because now all of a sudden they're, if you're not down with the Trump, if you're a police force in a liberal city, guess who your new enemy is? The federal fucking government. They don't even care. It's just reflexive bootlicking to power. That's the only way America's police forces across the nation know how to operate. Asshole, wide open. Sorry. I'll keep the disgusting imagery to myself, but you get it. They're cuckolds. So anyway, you boys, Channel 5, the realest motherfuckers, some of the realest out there. They were there covering it, gaping. That's what I'm saying, man. That kind of shit that you're like, whoa, I didn't click on that one. I really didn't. Okay, I got to look at it to make it go away. Okay, I'm just turning off the computer. I just literally unplugged the computer. It's all awkward. You got your pants down. It's like, oh man, whoa, hold on. Okay, just shut this off. I'm done. I'm not doing it today. I was in the mood. No, I'm not in the mood. I'm gonna go play Nintendo.
Fuck eyes. the government, fuck Kristi Noem, fuck Donald Trump, and fuck all those people on the Epstein list. Welcome, I am a domestic terrorist, anarchist Antifa here.
Get the out of my face with your film. You feel me? Go the over there.
This guy's okay. This is a poser. This is the kind of individual that organizers need to be like, okay, he's not us, right? You need to like calm him down. This is not black bloc. This is mental illness. Okay, this is mental, because like he doesn't even know Channel 5 is like Libby Lefty over here. You know, not even cool with Joe Rogan Lefty. Is she single? Yeah, I bet she might be. Near Rose, check it. That's what I'm saying, fellas. Get your ass out to the protests, right? You're like, well, a lot of men might be intimidated by this, but you know what? She's keeping it 100%.
Those people on the Epstein list. Welcome, I am a domestic terrorist, anarchist Antifa here.
Yeah, I love the sundress too. I love the badass attitude and the sundress. It's
Epstein
great.
list. Welcome, I am a domestic terrorist, anarchist Antifa here.
Get the out of my face with your film.
Fucking
You
idiot.
feel me? Go the over there. You too, motherfucker.
You fat ass. Come over my side and see what happens. No one's ever killed their way to peace. I don't think we're gonna start that with that energy here. So, is this America?
This guy over here.
The land of the free.
Evict ICE, abolish ICE, f*** ICE.
You're being lied to. This is a peaceful city and has been for a while. Protest is a First Amendment right.
It's so great, the absurdity of the costumes, reflecting the absurdity of these people we're supposed to be intimidated, by. It's I love it. I love it. Damn, dude, I love the buttons too. It's great.
In the words of Eminem, I am whatever you say I am, Kay. But I think we all know what's going on. Like, they need a civil war, especially now the Epstein files are going to be released. And so that's what they're doing.
This is not what America is about. This is not what the military is about. Military people who come down here and get involved should be ashamed.
So this was the Naked March. That was the Naked March there, the Naked Bike Ride. It's something that happens in Portland. Keep it weird. Portland keeps it fucking weird out there. If you're a weirdo, that's the place to be. You'll find your people out there. Really good punk scene as well. It's not a perfect city by any means, okay, but if you like to keep it funky, that might be the city for you.
Themselves.
It's been amazing to listen to people call this place a war zone. There are times that it does feel like that, and it does look like that. But it's only when they come out and make it one.
Kristi Noem is in here looking for a rebellion that doesn't exist.
No, I love Kristi Noem. I love what she does. I think she's gorgeous. Because she did shoot a dog, right? Yeah. I don't know about that part.
As far as I remember, the quote was because the dog was misbehaving and she couldn't bother to figure out how to train it. So
Nothing like a good pepper spray.
I'm here because I stand against death camps. We're putting people in death camps, feeding them raw meat and bunk stacked 5 high. They don't let them see the light of day more than 1 hour a month.
Yeah,
And
they're intentionally ghoulish torture camps because the idea is to use pain, suffering, and torture as a disincentive to cross the border illegally.
all this just to enrich the terrorist CEO of Geo Group.
Geo Group has hired an army of lobbyists
Guys informed.
in 17
Right, if you were to walk up to me and say, how informed is this guy politically? I'd be like, okay, right, but no, he's actually totally fucking plugged in, knows exactly what he's talking about, and he's correct,
Geo Group.
Geo Group has hired an army of lobbyists in 17 states while donating to over 400 candidates.
In 2017, Geo donated $225,000 to the
he's
Trump
totally
PAC.
right.
Later that year, they landed at 100.
He didn't say like woke Antifa, right? He's not listening to Alex Jones. Maybe he dips in once in a while, okay? But he's not taking, he's like, no, he actually looked into it and got the real facts about, he followed the money, okay? Like anybody can do it, all right? Anybody can do it. And he followed the money. He said, no, this is what's actually happening. This is the objective reality. And it's great to see, you can't judge a book by its cover.
$10 million ICE detention contract. The contract pays per head per day.
I suspect he's a physicist, actually.
Up, the more money Geo makes.
Music heals everything, and it'll be here after the nation's gone. So in the meantime, it'd be nice if we figured out how to care for the earth and care for each other.
All right, what's up, guys? We have just arrived in war-torn, war-ravaged Portland,
Get out of
Oregon.
there, man.
As you guys can tell,
Get
it's
out of there,
absolutely
bro.
fucking bananas out
Get
here.
out of
Over
there.
here, we have about 15 anti-Trump No Kings protesters speaking their mind about everything going on with ICE and the perhaps soon-to-be National Guard or California State Guard occupation of this particular cross-street intersection.
Oh my God. Look at these terrorists. Don't bully me, I'll come. I need to get that shirt. I need to get that. I love this. I fucking love this, man. Welcome to the war zone. It's fucking Iraq, okay? Welcome to the fucking apocalypse. Welcome to the purge. Please don't bully this person. She will have an immediate orgasm. Don't do that. If you're a guy that's getting attacked by a bunch of guys, you might want to give that a shot. Just start moaning in pleasure when they're like kicking you. It might work. Ew, bro. Bro, gross. I was trying to kill you, bro. Gross, bro. Oh no, don't do it. Like you start taking your pants off. You know, I'm just not in the mood to kill this guy anymore. I'm done. Some guy tried that already, did he?
And over here, we have a couple different media members, like myself, my sort of extended family coworkers, speaking their mind about what the heck is going on.
Man, you made it
now,
gay.
if you guys can't tell from my tone, I'm being a bit sarcastic. Portland, Oregon, it's a beautiful, amazing place with a lot to offer. It's also been historically the heart of some Portland, Oregon.
Look at the fucking smoke rise from this slag heap called Portland. Look at this. Look at the chaos in the streets, man. This is like the opening to the purge, bro.
It's a beautiful, amazing.
You ever watch The Good Liars? Oh, those guys are brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. I've shown them more than a few times. I mean, some of the knots that they get these people twisted into, it's brilliant. And all they really need to do is just hold up a mirror, but you have to do it in a way to kind of like be comforting, to kind of let them come to their own ridiculous conclusions. The Good Liars are so talented. My old boss liked to roughhouse. I didn't. So anytime he got one over me, I'd start, oh my God, I'm getting a boner. Yeah, bosses shouldn't be handy. So you were completely in your right to make it weird and awkward and homosexual. That's great. I love it. I guess there's the debate about weaponizing homosexuality, but I don't know. I feel like people, people that are anti-gay, they kind of deserve to have that thrown in their face a little bit. I'm okay with that. They have a DC No Kings protest video that was posted an hour ago. If you're interested, let's see it. We're just doing the whole stream is going to be basically the No Kings protest.
In place with a lot to offer. It's also been historically the heart of some pretty wild protest over the course of the past 20 or 30 years.
Right.
But 2020 was the real main year.
I covered this as well from the comfort of my home and everything, but I just remember every single day it looked like a war zone. It really did.
You guys remember 2020?
Yeah, he
the
owns it
pandemic,
again. Yeah,
the George
congratulations to
Floyd
him.
protests.
If you don't remember, here's a quick look back in time that should help explain a bit more about the origins of
Sure.
President
Give me them
Trump's
clips,
grudge
folks.
against
I'd
Portland,
love to see
which
them.
I feel qualified to speak about because I was there.
Homie
So
was there.
Portland, protest-wise, simply goes harder than other cities do.
They do.
Dude, if your dad's a cop, like fucking punch him in the face. At least 50 times.
As did Seattle before gentrification.
Their arms are actually fastened into these concrete containers.
It gets a little uncomfortable. I could have dressed better.
In some ways, it's comparable to the European protest model. It's not about looting and getting free shit. It's more like a mass mobilization of thousands of people that appear from thin air at a
Wow, look at
moment's
that,
notice,
folks.
equipped with laser beams, leaf blowers, sheep.
Sorry, well, I don't want to. There's some good footage there, but wow, look at that. Is it looped yet? I don't think it's looped yet. Nope, there's that big Constitution. You might have seen a picture of that. Someone did a full Constitution marching through the streets. Okay, now it finally looped. Okay, now we're at the beginning of the loop here. Yeah, we see people pouring in. Wow. That is really something else. We're not going to go quietly. You know, like the escalation is going to continue to happen, and we're going to start seeing ICE allowed to murder people. They're going to be completely unaccountable, no record keeping. They're going to be able to disappear American citizens, kidnap you. Your neighbor will be able to sick ICE on you. It'll be very, very easy for citizens to intimidate other citizens into obeying by using ICE as a tool. Donald Trump's going to enable that. But we're not going to go quietly. You know, it's like I've always said to the folks that are like, you know, I want to bash Nazis. I want to get a little wild in the streets. Just continue to peacefully protest. Then, you know, just continue to peacefully protest, because they're going to be bringing that violence right to your fucking doorstep.
That appear from thin air at a moment's notice, equipped with laser beams, leaf blowers, shields, gas masks, incendiary devices, and sometimes other weapons, with the purpose of either disrupting government operations or confronting opposition in the streets. Most of the friends that I had growing up who dove into this world headfirst were from the anarchist, bike messenger, vegan barista, and punk rock variety, and their opposition.
It's funny that they show Fred Armisen doing that, because he's totally holding down the Portland punk scene. It's really funny.
Was typically white nationalist, Christian fundamentalist, sovereign citizen types from the nearby suburbs who would come into town to antagonize. And the black bloc, or the anti-surveillance uniforming you often see them wearing, was initially a tool that was developed by Marxists in Europe in the 80s to avoid being identified and thereby doxxed for their affiliation to radical political groups.
And look, don't be intimidated, folks. We need this. We need this, okay? We need people at the tip of the spear pushing back. Without these people, the fascists win. I'm completely convinced about it. Without these folks taking it to this necessary level, you know. And look, does everyone like, as we saw the guy with Spider-Man mask, right? Does everyone that gets armored up, do they have, you know, good intentions? No. Do they make massive mistakes and, you know, do property damage? And when you're an agent provocateur, who do you dress as? Obviously, you dress as the black bloc. So we have complications there. But this is how we push back, right? Because they are going to use everything that they have, the facial recognition, unjustified arrests, you know, chemical, whatever it is. They're going to use all these techniques against us. We do need to defend ourselves when we're in the streets. And like I've said before, it's about what you're willing to sacrifice, right? So I got a kid, I got a family. My wife doesn't want to see me dressing up in all black, being Mr. Black Bloc, okay? So I don't get to participate in this. But maybe you do. Maybe you don't have a family. Maybe you're a little bit younger, a little bit more proactive, right? It's exciting, right? So you want the adventure. Let's not deny that that's what's happening as well. But you want to fight fascism, you want to push back. So maybe you do have the ability to sacrifice like this. It's up to you. It's up to you. But what's most important is that you participate. You know, if this isn't your style, I saw lots of folks at the protest that I went to. You know, they had brought a bunch of signs that I had made up, and they were handing out signs to everybody. So that could be you. You don't have to get all dressed in black, smelling tear gas. You can just hand some signs to folks.
But to bring it back to my hometown one more time, it was Seattle in the late 90s that led to the rise in domestic popularity of Black Bloc, which was the de facto uniform of many of the some 40,000 protesters who showed up in downtown Seattle to protest the World Trade Organization's annual conference.
And by the way, the World Trade, you know, this Clinton era trade setup fucked over farmers, screwed over small businesses across America, allowed corporate America to outsource and consolidate power. It wasn't fair, you know, like this is not how we do fair trade with other countries. You know, this is not how we do globalization in a way that can be equitable to both sides. It was a complete theft of lower middle class America, the WTO.
Citing the devastating impacts of economic globalization on American labor unions and, of course, the rise in third world labor exploitation by these evil transnational corporations.
Wow.
But still, there was no explicitly named...
folks. We got the crowd from Philadelphia. Thanks for the links. Got no audio on this. Wait, did that say dozens? Oh, dozens of protests. Okay. I was like, what, dozens of people? I think you got your numbers wrong. Wow. It's the highest quality I can get, looks like. Yep. Yeah, Promethean. It sucks, but I mean that's where, even more responsibility comes in, and this is why I think leftists sometimes feel obligated to do something, because we are seeing it. We do, it's not like we can predict the future, but the people that we're dealing with, the craven, grifting, sociopathic, oligarchy, the Elon Musk, the Peter Thiels, et cetera, we know who we're dealing with. We know what they want. Now they brag. Now they get in front of the camera and literally say, we're trying to destroy the world. We're going to make a lot of profit. We got another one from Boise, Idaho. God damn. Jesus. I love the people so lucky to get inflatable costumes. We got a chicken there. We got a kitten. Oh, we got a squirrel. There was one guy in a frog inflatable costume at the protest in Vancouver. It was like the only guy who was able to get one, before they sold out. Oh, there's an alien. And he was like a celebrity. He was like a total celebrity. Here, I got a picture of it, I think in the protest section. Let me show you. Yeah, right here. So this is actually a picture that I took. This is not me. This is someone else. But this guy, he's like, I was just like, just trying to get his attention. But everyone else was walking up and getting selfies. He was a total celebrity there. It was hilarious. So cool. We got more here. This is from Idaho, Boise. Wow. Yo, are these Pokemans? I think these are Pokemans. We got the unicorn. I don't know what that is. It's a green thing. We got T-Rex. Maybe that's a raptor. I don't know. Awesome. Lovely. Look, it's a start. I'm not going to be negative about it. We need to do more. The next step is general strike. Okay, and we need to be pressuring our leaders to start talking about it. But honestly, we're never going to get Hakeem Jeffries on our side, and we can't wait for Hakeem Jeffries. A general strike effort might need to be organized outside of the corporate-friendly, indivisible protest organization that organized No Kings. I just don't see the organizers of No Kings going, okay, No Kings, no worky, general strike, boom, this is the next thing. I think the people who are organizing an Indivisible, they just want to do another No Kings protest. They just want to do another one, another safe 3 to 4 hour, bing, bang, boom, everyone go home happy, nice and clean and safe. I think that's just what they want to do over and over and over and over and over again. But really, they need to be taking this momentum and clicking that next notch and start talking about general strike. I don't think I'm going to see that from Indivisible, right? That's the criticism. That's the Act Blue, this astroturfed, corporate-friendly, neoliberal-friendly, but the front face is hardcore progressive activism, just like the 60s. But it's contained, it's controlled in its own way. It's good. We just had the largest protest in American history because of it. So it has a function, it has a purpose, and I'm not trying to cancel it. But do I expect these buddy Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffrey types to kick it up a notch and start talking about general strike? I don't know, man. I'd love to be proven wrong.
Antifa group that existed until about 8 years later when Rose City Antifa opened up in Portland, Oregon.
Rose City Antifa, and they are amazing researchers, and that is their whole wheelhouse, and they do exhaustive research on these people, and their website is a wealth of information.
So just to back it up, and I'm gonna let this play a little bit, but what Channel 5 is doing that I haven't seen from any other news organization is actually talking to Antifa. The people that will represent whatever, right? It's because it's a loose organization, but it is it's like a Discord group basically of folks. Okay. They're not raising money. They're not, advocating for Antifa at a political conference. But this is about as organized as Antifa gets. And we got Andrew Callahan over here going right to the source, talking to these folks. What's your motivation? What's going on, right? How are you feeling? Does this, and does this mean that the people that he's talking to, they send out their orders, and then the Antifa super soldiers across the, like Beery, across the nation, they all become activated? That's what Donald Trump wants America to think. Some like G.I. Joe kind of, cartoonish description. That is, of course, not the case. There's a couple big dogs that have been doing it since day one that have respect and clout in the scene, because it's more of a scene. It's more of a Discord thing. And it needs to be like that because they can't be organized because of the infiltration, because of the tracking. So it's got to be a little bit loosey-goosey. It's got to be kind of like, we don't get to know each other, but it's one of those things. It's underground. It's true and legitimate underground. It's more of a scene. Like I said, they're not fundraising, but this is about as close as you're going to get to an organized Antifa representation. And Andrew Callahan's the only motherfucker doing it. Okay. Where's Wolf Blitzer? Huh? Where's CNN, ABC, Morning Joe? Right? It's all just like, can't have because it's amazing how they're fighting against the narrative, but they refuse to take it to the level that they need to take it to actually do that properly, because they're better than that or something, or because it would denigrate their image to do an interview with somebody in a black mask representing Antifa. I don't know. I don't understand how corporate multi-billion-dollar news can't do what Andrew Callahan does on a daily basis. You know what I mean? I don't understand that. Well, I do. It's intentional. That's what I'm trying to get at. I do understand it. It's an intentional decision to not go out there, to not talk to people who are connected to this scene, to not get their opinions, because it protects the corporate narrative. Anyway.
Rose City Antifa, and they are
existed until about 8 years later when Rose City Antifa opened up in Portland, Oregon.
Rose City Antifa, and they are amazing researchers, and like that is like their like whole wheelhouse, and they do like exhaustive research on these people, and their website is a wealth of information, and they do a lot of social networking and social tracking, and like every time Joey Gibson stands up and says he's not a racist because of XYZ, you can then go to their like website and like see pictures of him with like all of these different white supremacists and like overtly hateful like people that engage in overtly hateful ideology and groups. So they do a really good job of just like that kind of research and documenting. So we use that as a resource, and then we have our events.
Here's an interview I conducted a while back with the lead organizers of a group called Pop Mob, or Popular Mobilization, who are responsible for a great deal of the anti-fascist organizing.
Really, if we, as leftist progressives, as leftist progressives in whatever state, these are the things we need to be emulating to find success, resisting ICE, resisting fascism. There's a very, very real possibility that this isn't over in 3 years. And it sounds exhausting. It's like, what? Yeah, no, there's a very real possibility this doesn't stop until we engage at this level, until we really push it, right? We go to this next level. Now, once again, that doesn't mean that all of us get blacked up and fucking get out there and start breathing tear gas. But it goes back to that 3-step program. We inform ourselves, we sign up, show up, and we put in the work. And that third step is so important. Because that third step is the difference between victory and defeat. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you could be the one to start your Pop Mob organization, loose organizing organization in your area, and you're going to have to keep it underground. Like, these people they're not wearing masks because they're worried about COVID. Okay, they're not wearing masks. It's about being tracked by the fucking feds because you're opening yourself up to that. But you want to be that hardcore, you want to do it, we need it if we want victory. Because like Steve Bannon, Nick Fuentes, I mean, all these guys, they're basically, they get to do this kind of stuff out in the open. They get praised for it. They get funded by billionaires, right? Because they want to destroy America. They want the down throw of America, right? So they get to do it out in the open, and they even get paid for it. We have to do it underground, and no one's getting paid for anything. This is the struggle. This is what the struggle looks like on the left. And it's actually been like this for a very long time, but hopefully, because the predictions are correct, the cynics were correct, fascism is here, fascism is taking over. These are fascist organizations that are implementing fascist ideas. And, you know, the struggle against fascism has, you know, these guys, you know, have been around since Barack Obama and before that. And it's always been a struggle against what we have defined as fascism. And only recently have people been like, yeah, I guess it is fascism. There's really no pushing back on that. Only the most dishonest people like Ezra Klein still want to make that argument.
Popular Mobilization, who are responsible for a great deal of the anti-fascist organizing that's taken place in Portland since 2018.
My name is Effie Baum. I am one of the organizers with Pop Mob.
Yeah, and my name is Seamus. I'm another organizer of Pop Mob.
Can y'all tell me about Pop Mob's association with anti-fascist organizing?
On July 30th of 2018, there was a Proud Boy Patriot Prayer rally that happened downtown Portland. It is now...
Hold on. There's one thing in here I need to blur, so let me just get that ready.
Kind of colloquially referred to as the Battle of Portland. And it came a year after the Jeremy Christian murders had happened, and there'd been a huge Patriot Prayer rally in downtown. This is about 1 year later. Over the course of the year, the opposition had shrunk. So their rallies were getting bigger and bigger, and people showing up to oppose them was getting smaller. And so it was a small group of anti-fascists that showed up that day.
Star Troopy, and I know you're just having fun, but it actually doesn't make sense to concentrate resistance into any one single location. It actually makes sense to keep things as loose and, you know, unconcentrated as possible, right? Because that concentrating power just makes it easier for the feds to kill it.
Smaller black bloc, and they had a lot of Proud Boys, and Ethan Nordine, who's one of the Proud Boys from up in Washington and goes by Rufio, was caught on camera punching a person who was in block and knocking them out. Right. And just really in the fencing position, really fucking skull fracture, almost killed the guy, almost fucking killed the guy. That video went viral all over the internet and was celebrated as this you know, kind of ideal moment.
Assault.
The Rufio punch, that's the most legendary punch. It's the punch heard around the world.
You were in the zone, man. You're it's like a video game.
Yeah, Gavin McInnes says, you know, violence isn't great, but justified violence is amazing.
He literally knocked the soul out of this little soy boy Antifa.
It was attacking him with a baton.
Yes, it was attacking him with a baton.
This is the January 6th terrorist, Enrique Tarrio.
Absolutely. It was self-defense, 100%.
That rally in particular was really violent. That person ended up with a skull fracture. And so a lot of us that had been doing organizing in the city for a long time were we need to do something. We need to encourage people to show up. We can't let these people keep coming into our city and causing this kind of violence and attacking people. And we had seen...
Well, Gaius, both things are kind of true. Both things are kind of true. As leftists, we kind of need to accept that there's going to be, you know, certain groups of leftists organizing in a certain way and other groups of leftists organizing in another way. I think the thing that needs to unify these movements, though, more than anything, is adherence to nonviolence as best as possible. And, you know, that means the black bloc needs to stay defensive and not engage in offensive maneuvers and actions. And having that kind of discipline is incredibly difficult when everybody is kind of just doing their own thing as well, which is kind of, you know, it's tough because I know people want to have both things, but I don't know if we can have both things where just, you know, people just doing their thing, loose to no organization, and that's going to get us across the finish line. I'm not so sure.
It had happened in Boston after Unite the Right, when some of those organizers went to Boston and tried to organize a similar march. 40,000 people in Boston showed up to shut them down. And so we said, we need the same thing here. We need a popular mobilization that tries to build a broad-based movement of everyday anti-fascists to show up and say that this is not
I mean, that's always the case. That's his job, and he understands that. You know, he needs to be hyperbolic about it. He needs to say it's a riot. He needs to say these people are evil, right? Because that dehumanization process is long and requires constant repetition. Andy No understands that, and that's why he is participating in that. You know, we have to be very, very careful here, but we also need to be cognizant that these people are bad actors. They're always going to be like this. They're always going to, you know, blow it way out of proportion, right? They're always going to be like that. So we we have to be cognizant of how they react, but we also need to be aware that we can't be completely controlled by their reactions as well. It's so much harder to be a leftist as an activist. It is very, very difficult to find the right vibe, to do the right thing. How far do we push it, right? And that's intentional. That's intentional. Like the system is built to make leftism as impossible as possible. As impossible as possible. But no, the system is built to be as difficult as possible for leftists to get any traction whatsoever, because for decades and decades, the neoliberal establishment and the conservative right were working in tandem. That was one of the things that they agreed on, was that they're going to do everything in their power to prevent any kind of challenge to the duopoly. And they've been wildly successful at that. At vilifying, you hear socialism, whoa, right? So vilifying the very word, there's a lot of work that we have to do. This is just, this is it. This is the fight. It does not get easier. It actually does. It actually gets a lot harder from here. It does not get easier. And I know that sucks to say that and to hear that, but this is the challenge that we face as leftists
in our city. So Joey Gibson had planned, he was running for Senate back then. Why he was having Senate campaign events in a state that he wasn't representing, I'll leave you to figure out for yourself. But he had an event planned for that August 4th. And so we started organizing to have a huge event in opposition to his August 4th rally. And that was the birth of Pop Mob.
So Pop Mob began as a response to what was like alt-right violence.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of anti-fascist work happens not in the streets. It happens by outing these people in their communities, letting people know where they work, letting people know where they live, identifying them, identifying the behavior that they are engaged in, and like really raising that cost of participation for what it means to be like somebody who's engaged in that kind of like hateful activity. And then in addition to that, when they do show up in mass, those are recruitment opportunities for them. So by showing up and outnumbering them and showing that like this is a community that is not going to put up with that bullshit, that is how we're going to stop them from continuing to do this. And
sorry,
this is a long history.
I was just agreeing with John Axel there. Yeah, no, yeah. A lot of money. Where the fuck's my check?
Especially in Portland.
As Effie explains, the conflict between white supremacists and anti-racists in the Rose City goes back far.
Is that this fella? I have this right here. What's his name? Rutgers. Yeah, Mark Bray. So I have. Thank you for that article, Woke Patriot, about that, because I have this interview from Democracy Now! That we are going to be covering this fascism expert who's leaving the country because he thinks this is it, baby, and he doesn't want to be part. He doesn't want to be caught up in the in the chaos. He doesn't want to be arrested and thrown in a fucking cell for being a prominent anti-fascist voice. So he's getting the hell out of here. So look forward to that. We will be covering that interview. I don't know about today, but we will be covering it.
Far before Trump.
In the late 80s, there was mid-80s, there's a really, really thriving and active neo-Nazi skinhead racist scene here in Portland. And there was a lot of like white supremacist, overtly white nationalist gangs that were in the city. And one by the name of Eastside White Pride, 4 of the members of that murdered an Ethiopian exchange student who was a college student at PSU in 1988. And it was kind of like a tipping point. There had already been a lot of violence that had led up to this point. His murder was not the first, but it was kind of like this moment that sparked a lot more opposition, and it ended up leading to a huge coalition of organizations in Portland that then for the next several years worked to organize against those white supremacist and neo-Nazi groups and essentially chased them out of Portland and chased them back underground.
If anything does happen to Hassan, it'll probably be after the midterms. I think if they successfully steal the midterms, they're going to be, feel emboldened to really kick it up to that next phase. Start targeting and silencing leftist voices before the presidential election. Socializing Sapien, I wish you were right, but the reality is that Andrew Cuomo, in a political debate that happened just a few days ago, mentioned Hassan several times during that debate, and unfortunately, that makes him pretty fucking politically relevant, right? Because of course the idea is tie the left to Hassan and then convince people that he's an animal abuser, whatever, right? Yeah, it was the one against Zoran Mamdani. The Mamdani absolutely bodied him. I mean, some of the responses were like literally just retire on stage. Okay, like I've reconsidered my independent run. This is actually, you know, like his conclusion to his debate is like, I'm actually going to step down. I've lost. I can see that.
And that kind of organizing didn't happen here again. Like that kind of neo-Nazi, white supremacist, overt organizing didn't happen here again for a long time because the anti-fascist counter opposition was successful. And so we are basically just trying to do the same thing. And in the 2 years that we've been organizing against Patriot Prayer and the Proud Boys, their attendance at their events has dwindled.
So here's where it gets a bit confusing when talking about 2020 when everything popped off in Portland, and where the mainstream media seems totally unable to identify any nuance whatsoever.
Exactly.
Okay, so while it was true that Rose City Antifa and other coordinated, formally branded groups were in Portland engaging in direct action protests, it is also true that there were just as many, if not more, self-identified anti-fascist protesters from the Pacific Northwest where this culture took hold, with no connection to branded Antifa groups out there in the streets wearing black bloc, doing their thing in Portland.
So you see, it's like responding to what Gaius was saying, right? It's just, it's a lot of, it's like loosely organized. It's kind of both. It's kind of both, right? There's some folks that take it to that next level, that do that underground organizing, and there's folks that just show up and they're like, I'm just going to fucking, you know, I'm going to put my body between the fascists and the rest of the crowd, because oftentimes that's what these guys are doing at the black bloc. Is that, you know, the fascists want to provoke and they want to hurt people. They want to like literally run down black people and, you know, kick them before the cameras see, you know, do a quick beating and then run away. The black bloc will take it upon themselves to put themselves between protesters and the fascists. But, you know, they're just self-motivated folks. A lot of the cases, you know, they're sick and tired of seeing it. They don't, you know, they know that the things are going to get a little rough. Things are going to get physical, and they would prefer not to go to jail, but they're not going to stay home, right? So a lot of folks are like that. So it's kind of both. Is there a nationwide, organized, well-funded, you know, Antifa? No, of course not. Small, little, decentralized bubbles. That's, you know, that does light organizing. That's about as big as it gets when it comes to Antifa organizing. And it kind of needs to be that way. Underground organizing, like I said, the more centralized you are, the easier it is for the feds to target that organization and dissolve the whole thing. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, though, because obviously what's happening is they're going to classify anybody that speaks against the government as Antifa. You don't need to be waving a flag. You just they're going to say, this person said fuck ICE, there he is, Kash Patel. You know, they're going to say this person said, do the blonde one. I like the blonde one. You know, anybody that says fuck ICE, anybody on social media says anything against Trump, you're all Antifa. Antifa for everybody. There he is. That's the scary one. I love that one. So it's like, you know, be part of Antifa or not, because you're basically already going to be considered Antifa by the government.
This is, of course, not the most convenient narrative.
Oh, strategy.
Liberal media says that
back.
Antifa is just a word for anti-fascist, which is cap. But conservative media, on the other hand, says that everyone wearing black bloc is a paid agitator being bankrolled by globalist financier George Soros, who apparently has plans to destroy Western civilization through the proliferation of open border policy and, I guess, gay TV. As far as the conservative theory goes, Trump and many of his allies, I think, at least they pretend, to actually believe that. And less than a month ago, took things a step further with an executive order, designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization in an official White House briefing. And shortly after, announced plans to deploy federal troops, the National Guard, and later the California State Guard to Portland to defend the ICE field office, which is in the safe and sanitized South Waterfront area, where very few protests were taking place. This, to me, as a journalist who knows about the situation, was a bit confusing. I mean, SEO-wise, Antifa hadn't been talked about in over 5 years, and had their last real presidential mention back in the August of 2020 when Trump deployed DHS and Border Patrol agents to allegedly help the police secure the courthouse downtown from protesters who were demanding the radical defunding and/or abolition of the Portland Police Bureau. But as time went on, things really began to wind down. I mean, really, as I continued to cover that subculture for the year that followed the George Floyd murder, numbers just became smaller and smaller, and they probably lost 90% of their population within maybe a year of the killing. And just to clarify, I'm not saying that was because of laziness or lack of motivation or something. I mean, 3 major stated anti-fascist landmarks were achieved during that protest movement. Firstly, Trump was not re-elected in 2021, which made way for a centrist alternative who was deemed to be reasonably acceptable until Gaza cracked off. Secondly, most of the right-wing groups like Patriot Prayer and the Proud Boys, who frequently use Portland as a venue for their flag waves and free speech rallies, thereby spiritually demanding the presence of Antifa, were decimated and structurally fractured by charges that stemmed, of course, from the January 6th Capitol riot. And thirdly, Derek Chauvin was convicted of murder in the April of 2021.
So now we're back. It's been a year of vengeance. Trump is back in power, and all of Trump's enemies are definitely feeling the smoke. Not just on a city level, but you got New York Times getting sued, Paramount getting sued, YouTube getting sued. And Trump is actually winning most of these lawsuits, and now he's taking revenge.
By the way, big props to Channel 5 and Andrew Callahan for giving me explicit written permission to steal their content. Thank you so much, Andrew. That was very nice of you. He just reached out. Hey, it's like, hey, I love your show. I totally know who you are. And I watch your show and I know it. And if you want to use my content at any time for any reason, you just go crazy. He sent me that email. He did that. I'm not going to show it to you. I'm not going to. I respect privacy and everything, but he really did do that. Isn't that cool? He knows who I am and everything. Hey, Vosh. He gets me completely mixed up with Vosh. Yeah, no, man. Thanks, bro. Thanks. That's a good one. I like that.
On cities that hated him back in the day. So now we're here, 2:30 p.m. Got the Fred Meyer flannel on. Gonna talk to this guy over here. Figure out what's going on. Excuse me, sir. What the heck's going on?
I like to watch the shit show.
Yeah. What have you seen so far?
Nothing. Not today. It's too beautiful.
What's the most beautiful thing about Portland, Oregon?
Oh man, our family's been here from the 1850s. I think this is all fucking stupid, personally. Everybody calls me a Nazi because I'm white. I just want love.
It's important
Right. That's why they're calling you a Nazi, because you're white, huh? Defend the white race, right? Oh, I can't believe people calling me a Nazi. Jeez, oh, Pete, man, can you believe that? Man, they don't even get it.
Note that in the midst of this
I just think white people are superior. Why would you call me a racist for that?
chaos, ICE operations are still continuing as normal at the Portland field office. They've just changed their entrance to the other side of the building, where every so often, undocumented migrants arrive to either apply for their worker's permit or begin the self-deportation process.
¿De dónde eres?
De Guatemala.
¿Y qué piensas sobre eso?
Y en el caso mío, pues yo estoy viniendo a cumplir con mis leyes para que todo salga bien, porque es mejor venir uno a presentarse y no fallar, ¿va? Porque...
If you vote for Trump, are you a Nazi? No, but you support Nazi ideals, Nazi priorities, basically. But the fact that you're saying Nazi instead of fascism tells me that you're a right-winger trying to gotcha. No, not every right-winger is a Nazi fascist. But every right-winger supports a fascist organization, a fascist president with a fascist agenda. Just like how not every right-winger is a racist, but every racist is a Republican, almost, or more extreme, more to the right.
Si uno falla, pues las cosas se ponen difíciles. Ajá, entonces mi deber es mejor venir a cumplir con la ley.
How about you go waste someone else's time, loser?
Todo salga bien.
Tú no tienes
You're
papeles,
as transparent as
no,
glass,
yo no tengo
motherfucker.
papeles.
¿Y cuántos meses tienes aquí en los Estados Unidos?
Oh, pues apenas tengo 1 año, 4 meses.
1 año, 4 meses.
Sí.
¿Estás en la ciudad de Guatemala o en el campo o dónde?
Es en una aldea.
You know, and once again, big props to Channel 5. Why are you mad? Because your party, your organization that you support is literally dismantling the Constitution and cooing and laughing and thinking that it's funny to put a crown on Donald Trump's head and say he's king of America. You're everything that I hate. You're literally a direct assault to my liberties and freedom. That's why I'm angry, sir. Because you're a fucking fascist and you're destroying my life and you're destroying the future for my children, who's, by the way, disabled. And your little cadre is doing everything it can to defund services that my son desperately needs. So I hate you. I hate you more than I hate most other people, right? Conservatives make me fucking sick. Your ignorance, your acquiescence to power, the bootlicking, anti-intellectualism, the pedophilia, I could go on. I didn't vote. So that somehow absolves you from when you try to spread right-wing ideas? You get a pass for being a right-winger just because you didn't vote? You make me sick, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Props once again to Channel 5 News for showing the reality of the situation in some of these places.
¿Y por qué viajaste a los Estados Unidos?
No, pues,
Shut the fuck up,
por muchos
Baba.
problemas de allá
Shut the fuck up.
de Guatemala, ¿va? Entonces,
Pathetic.
pues aquí veo que todo está calmado.
So I think that
Problemas
was
como
Guatemala.
delincuencia, cosas como eso.
Sí, así es. Por eso mismo que uno busca cómo salir de allá mejor y que yo estoy cumpliendo con lo que yo he prometido con ellos de venirme a presentar.
¿Y es difícil para encontrar trabajo sin papeles?
Pues la verdad, no
So
sé.
this poor guy, I don't know if he thinks if I do it this way, they're going to give me a break. But apparently they give you $1,000. Andrew Callahan points that out. So apparently they give you $1,000, but the dude's going to get kicked out of the country, right? They want that $3,000. They want that $3,000 a month number, or was it $3,000 a week? But they want that number. They're going to hit that quota. So anyone that's stupid enough to come into their web, you know, does the spider give mercy to the fly that willingly landed on the web? No, it does not.
Porque yo no he intentado buscar porque, como le digo, no quiero meterme en problemas. Es mejor, como le digo, cumplir hasta que ellos me autoricen un permiso de trabajo que andar haciendo cosas.
¿Qué tipo de trabajo quieres hacerlo?
Cry for
No,
me,
pues
Evita.
aquí, como dicen, va a lo que me salga.
Goddamn right,
despuesito.
I'm angry.
¿No tienes miedo sobre
I'm
ICE?
fucking pissed at you.
Pues la verdad,
And your
no, pues
ilk.
porque como decimos, va de que a lo que Dios haga su voluntad.
Hopefully that interview gives you some insight as to maybe why
Right.
ICE
So,
has
I mean,
been...
he like, and God bless him, bro. Like coming in here,
Hopefully that interview
like,
gives you some insight.
hey, don't you still respect this? Don't you, no, bro, no. They hate every conservative I've ever talked to hates the ideals enshrined on the base of the Statue of Liberty. They fucking despise it. I've had right-wingers coming in with their avatar being the Statue of Liberty, being anti-immigration. So, I mean, this guy couldn't be more wrong. And he's probably already, back in Guatemala, man.
As to maybe why ICE has been engaging in such intimidating public behavior, snatching people off the streets in masks, chasing day laborers through parking lots, the construction of something called Alligator Alcatraz, and releasing ASMR videos from deportation flights. Maybe they are using terroristic tactics in an effort to cause migrants to engage with the formal immigration system, whether it be through requesting a permit or self-deportation. I've mentioned self-deportation twice now because, according to a recent DHS report, 80% of the some 2 million people who've been deported since Trump's re-election have done it themselves.
They think they're fucking clever. They think that, they think that they know what they're fucking doing. They try to come in and do their little skibbity bebop, trigger the liberals bullshit. And it's just insulting at this point. Go find a fucking sucker.
On the CBP app to begin the legal citizenship process from their home country. This is no doubt a direct result of the climate of fear ICE has created. But additionally, Trump also launched an initiative called Project Homecoming that offers a free flight home and $1,000 for every single migrant who self-deports. I truly wonder if our new friend is still in the country.
So if you ask some people in the mainstream media, Portland, Oregon is a war-ravaged city where the U.S. military is fighting the good fight against terrorists on every street corner. I don't know if that's true, but it could be.
The problem with the media's coverage of ICE protest here and across...
He's getting to his advertisement for Ground News. Check it out if you're interested. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I guess I don't really need this to, but it is a useful resource. They're sponsoring the hell out of all these leftist streamers. So check out Ground News, folks, I guess. If you want, if you're really super duper into this kind of shit, I guess. I don't know. I'm super into it, but I don't have time for this. Okay, I just kind of parse that shit out myself, multiple sources, read multiple things. Whatever. You do you, boo.
Caucasian? Because I'm Caucasian, never been called a Nazi.
Oh, dude, I hear it all the time. No, just because I'm white. White and I stand up for my rights. That's it.
Yeah. I bet you do. Right? Right. Just like Elon was standing up for his rights. I just stand up for my rights, I just shout white pride. You know, I'm super happy to see brown people getting kidnapped, and I think it's just exclusively brown people. I'm too thick-skulled. You can never convince me that American citizens. When I was walking through the protest, I ran into one of these fucking lunkheads. If they're illegal. You know, it does not matter. It doesn't matter that everything the fucking Nazis did was legal. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter to him that, you know, Donald Trump can just, you know, magically with the signature make the illegal. He doesn't care about any of that. He thinks the people that he doesn't like, based off his own ignorant perception of race, are getting hurt exclusively. 1 + 1 = 2 to him. That must be a good thing. I'm just proud of my race. I'm just proud of my race when I'm cheering on fascism. And just people call me a Nazi just because I'm white. It has nothing to do with the vile shit coming out of my mouth. It's just, they're just racist against me. Yeah, and we'll never convince him. We'll never fucking convince him. So the only thing we can do in a democratic situation is, you know, defeat him politically, defeat him at the ballot box, defeat him out in the streets, defeat him in the social media battle, defeat him in the zeitgeist battle. That's our only choice. We're not going to debate our way out of this one with lunkheads like this. Absolutely not. You know, they smile in glee at our extermination as a political group, as a people, as a culture. They think it's really fucking cool. Okay? And we will never convince them otherwise. So the best thing we can get is defeating them politically.
You feel like white people are getting the short end of the stick?
For me, anyway. Folks. My personal opinion.
What's been going on?
I grew up with all the cultures. I grew up black, brown. Grew up with the Mexican. I grew up in Hillsboro.
Oh, shit.
I love all the colors, man.
Yeah.
But they hate on me, but it's fine. Who I love. I got trans friends. I got gay friends.
Bunch of retarded.
Right. No. Right. It's cool. Look, when I'm dropping the N-word and I'm saying, you know, N-words, you know, are less than human, I got some black friends. Right? I got some black people that are pretending to be my friend for some reason or another. So I get to do that all day, you know? I got some gay friends. I drop FAGs all day, you know? I hate against gay people all day. I got some gay friends. It's all good. I love how that's still like a thing. Well, I got some friends that are from that minority group that I'm disenfranchising, so it's all good.
Fucking trannies out here. I live in this fucking building. There's 120 days of this bullshit. Fuck these people. They're trying to troll me, and I don't care. I think it's funny. They can't troll me, but I don't give a shit. Fuck them.
Real hero, skinhead, Nick Fuentes fan, most likely.
Fuck them all. I'm going to be here when the Patriots come back tonight, and then hopefully we'll fuck these people up. They're going to fuck them up, and we're going to get them.
So he's got, you know, he's spreading his hate and ignorance to his child as well. So that's probably him, you know, his kid with the Make America Great Again hat. And look, he's an innocent kid. He doesn't know any better. Okay, that's the parents' fault. That's the parents' fault. He's doing a victory lap because really, honestly, him and his ideals, they're winning right now. Donald Trump and Stephen Miller totally agree with this skinhead.
We will fuck these people up. They're going to fuck them up, and we're going to get them the fuck out of this goddamn neighborhood.
Right. And what would the neighborhood look like if he actually got his way? It would be practically empty. You know, it would be practically empty. Restaurants closed, no stores, nothing. If he actually got what his hateful desires, you know, come true, there'd be like 100 people there. An empty city. Everyone else in a fucking concentration camp doing hard labor for free.
Fuck
Unseasoned,
them up,
exactly.
And we're going to get them the fuck out of this goddamn neighborhood.
Portland, Oregon, where it looks like.
So just, you know, and that's really the ideology right there. If you're brown, you don't belong. It's not they use the illegal thing as a crutch, as a shield. But no, it's really about, you know, if you like hip hop, right? You know, if you're different than me, you can hang from a bleep, right? That's what this is really about. That's where Stephen Miller is coming from. And they're hiding their power level by masking it as like we're cracking down on illegal immigration. This is a big crisis. Right. Really, it's literally all a front to mask what this man is basically expressing, which is pure, unadulterated racism.
Fuck out of this goddamn neighborhood.
Portland, Oregon, where it looks like a war zone.
Exactly,
when Trump said it was a war zone, he's being a little, facetious about it. It's not actually a war zone. It's not Afghanistan. It's not Iraq. It's been pretty peaceful. I mean, you had the flag burning. Then it got a little tense, but seems to have diffused for now.
No, they were burning it, and I actively went over and shoved people out of the way and took it and put it out and saved it. And then I told them to try and do that with my flag, and it obviously did not happen. And their side, they're a bunch of geniuses over there, and you can tell by, who this guy, how he's speaking, and who he is, that he's a deep thinker. One of my friends got the other half. I think his name is Nick. That's the one. He got the other half.
President Trump, you mentioned that flag.
That's right. I saw that.
Took this flag from that man that was burning it in the street.
I saw it. Do you know who he is?
Wow.
Oh yeah, I know.
Would you have that on the floor? Would you have that on the fucking floor? You're not going to fold it up properly. Even you're just going to keep it wadded up. There's a proper way to fucking actually. If you actually gave a shit about that flag, there's actually a proper way to store and hold that and display that. Would you have that in a fucking paper bag on the floor, wadded up? If you actually gave a shit about this symbol and this fucking flag, you would have had it unfurled and folded up properly, and you could still see how damaged it is, even in that state. They don't give a shit about the fucking flag. Look at this. Look at this prop. Look at this fucking prop that he holds up. Look, Daddy. Look, Daddy. Did I do good, Daddy? Woke Patriots correct. But if you're going to pretend like you give a shit about the symbol, about the fucking flag, you should actually pretend to do so properly.
Exactly who it is.
So why don't you give it to Pam? Give it to the Attorney General?
Give it to Pam. We're going to arrest everybody. We're going to send the cops after them because that's how America works now.
Let's start prosecutions.
They're not going to take my flag and burn it, and I can't stand to see somebody trying to do that.
For these people in the building, right? This is not what they're used to. They're not used to entire masses of people being herded by giant gas clouds. So, in the sanctity of Portland, to them, it may feel like a war zone. I know these people want to go to.
Woke Patriot, though, you have to accept the value of symbols, right? In this fight. Surely you would acknowledge that it would behoove the left to try and take back the flag. In Canada, there's actually kind of a battle right now. Leftists trying to take back the Canadian flag from the convoy conservatives, who are like brandishing it basically as a symbol of their movement. There's power in symbols. There's power in symbols.
I know these officers want to be home with their families. Some of them are from LA. So something needs to break. They need to get these people out of here. If that's sitting in National Guard from California, Oregon, Texas, or even active duty, the president is supposed to protect against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
I'm not going to make fun of this guy because this is basically what my body looks like. So, I'm not going to sit here and make fun of this man because he's a beefcake and he's quite handsome, actually. Did you know that? Yeah.
Domestic inside the United States. These are the enemies of civil living in the United States.
The apparent enemies of the United States, for the most part, seem to either be furries and keffiyehs, semi-unhinged individuals dressed like superheroes harassing who they believe to be conservative media.
All right. You gonna jam out to some Linkin Park with me later? We're gonna listen to the whole Linkin Park soundtrack music in the dark in my garage because I hate my fucking parents, right? Fuck you, Mom.
You guys go fuck over there.
And of course, right-leaning content creators attempting to engage with people in Black Bloc, which always results in some kind of argument or fistfight. It's an ecosystem where sometimes it feels like everyone needs each other to justify their.
The beard is kind of a red herring for the conservatives. Conservatives constantly come in here thinking that they're going to get themselves a right winger, and they're like, wait, don't you lick boots like I do?
Own existence, and it's hard to tell who's having the most fun.
You see, like how everybody's standing around, it's like this is 99% of the day, all day. And then like the professional news will come out for a little bit. Like the left-leaning side will go oh, these people are out here, they're protesting, and then they'll leave. I saw yesterday an interview on some live stream. It was like this lady like, we should incentivize people to come out here and punch Antifa. That would really get our views up. That would really be great. Like, they're so happy for violence. It's just crazy. They're like cheering it on. They're like, as soon as they come out, they're like, yeah, go beat them up. Go do your job. You know,
I saw the One Piece flag.
They sent 30 guys out to come pull that kid.
I know,
who was his foot off the line.
It's totally
not doing nothing.
Yeah,
that's not their job.
If you watch Newsmax, News Nation, Fox, you'll see about 15 to 20 minutes every night of the same stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's happening. The peaceful protesters are on the public sidewalk. The ICE agents come out of their facility and assault the peaceful protesters. Yeah. And that's when everything goes to hell. It's not instigated by the protesters, it's instigated by ICE.
Oh my God.
Dude, I spent 22 years of my life upholding the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And these are domestic enemies. Not these folks, not these protesters, but the people back in D.C. running the show.
We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military.
This is America at practice. This is what the First Amendment, the most important of all, is all about, is people expressing their peaceful views of tyranny.
A lot of us that have been down on the ground for a while have anticipated we'd get this sort of clash between narrative and reality in Portland. They've been setting up this story about Portland since 2020. It's true. It's disappointing to see so many people going along with it, but it's exciting to see that because of how much the spotlight is being focused on Portland and Chicago right now, we're getting a real opportunity to show people that that's not the case.
Hey, Channel 5, what the fuck? You can't afford a fucking stick mic? Look, I get it, you guys are indie. What the fuck is this? Anyway, moving on.
That this isn't a war zone, that it didn't burn to the ground in 2020.
Yeah.
To be honest, a lot of this 2020 downplaying made us a bit sad, narrative-wise. There was a lot of energy in the streets back then, and you had people boldly standing in front of the fires they just sparked with 100% conviction, and no huge concern about optics and how they'd be perceived by people who weren't even there. And I'm not saying it's good to burn down police stations, but proving how peaceful you are to conservatives by dressing like
I mean, this is the thing, is that if they continue to push tyranny on us, the left is incapable of keeping all these elements contained. And people will react on their own. They're not worried about optics. They're not worried about politics. They're not worried about a party. And people will get hurt. And it's not a threat. It's what happens when fascists do this to a democratic society.
Burn down police stations, but proving how peaceful you are to conservatives by dressing like a cartoon character isn't exactly moving the needle either. I guess times have changed. Oh well.
I don't know. I wasn't active in the 2020 protests, so I can't speak to how they were on the ground. I mean, I lived around here, but I didn't spend all that much time downtown.
So everybody's out here with a different idea, and so there's no Antifa, there's no leftist playbook plan. Everybody's just out here because they're emotional and because they care.
Amongst all this hullabaloo, I started to wonder where the hell the real ones were at.
Yeah.
The buck-wild Antifas of 2020, who lived and died by this fuck 12 shit. Right. So I made some calls, and thankfully, by the grace of God, I was able to get in touch with some...
Look at this motherfucker. What is this? Is this Ice Cube cosplay? Bro, okay, we get it. Okay, you're indie. All right? Goddamn over here, this motherfucker. You gonna bust out fucking Straight Outta Compton, the sequel? What the hell is he doing over here?
Certified steppers from
What's up, SA?
Who, to my surprise, were doing their best to stay as far away from the ICE
I'm just teasing. He looks great. Today was a good day. He looks fresh. He looks fresh as fuck.
The most civil
from back in the day, who to my surprise of God, I was able to get in touch with some certified steppers from back in the day, who to my surprise were doing their best to stay as far away from the ICE office as possible.
I would say that it is the most civil place a person could ever go in their life, and it's full of right-wingers, all with a live stream in their hand, trying to create a situation that can justify more escalation. You know, the contrast to that is,
Patriot,
for the most part, the same few dozen people who are showing up night after night, grilling hot dogs, rocking inflatable fucking frog costumes, twerking and smoking joints in front of federal agents. A lot of people have been on the same page for quite some time about what's going on down there. But for the most part, it's a bunch of newly activated people. It's a bunch of liberals. A lot of
So very fascinating. This is why the mainstream media is failing us. This interview right here, and it's it's interesting. He puts this almost right in the middle there, like a delicious sandwich, because this is mainstream media. Eat your fucking heart out. Eat your absolute fucking heart out over here, because this kind of interview you're just not going to get on mainstream media, and it's a fascinating perspective. So I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna legit let it play, and just because you're just not getting this literally anywhere else.
A lot of people have been on the same page for quite some time about what's going on down there. But for the most part, it's a bunch of newly activated people. It's a bunch of liberals, a lot of anti-fascists, just like, what the fuck are we doing? We're just like showing up to get surveilled, all for what? Because what are people doing?
It reminds me much more of the raid of Area 51. You guys familiar with that?
Yeah.
When they showed up?
With the footage of it, yeah.
That was people in inflatable costumes, vague conspiratorial tones, but probably the anger here is maybe ratcheted up a bit more because it's not quite as campy, because ICE is actually, snatching people off the streets.
Especially at this point, it's so fucking unserious. Like, okay, cool, you got 10,000 people to go to your protest in quotes, with the cops blocking the streets and you're holding your signs, you get your pictures, you go home. Like, what has that done? If mass protest did anything, Israel wouldn't still be bombing Gaza right now. Because look how many people started to hit the streets.
It needs to be bigger. Yeah, and you've heard me criticize the protest movements, in the past, where it's just like, it's this quick expression of dissent. It's all very organized and orderly, and then we all go back home. And maybe there was a time where that was considered more acceptable. But really, it can be seen as masturbatory, because we're not taking it to the next level, and we're not demanding that the leaders of these movements take it to the next level. We're allowing them to organize these quick spurts, and then do fundraisers with neoliberals, et cetera, be really buddy with some of these higher ups in these liberal organizations, and they're not really feeling the pressure from their there it is. They're not feeling the pressure from their constituents to push it to that next level, and it's general strike. That's the next peaceful step in this move. That's the obvious one, and the fact that it's not obvious, right? The fact that it's not front and center, and it's like, yep, you like that? Well, wait until next month. Because that's when the general strike's going to hit, right around Christmas. Perfect. It's a perfect time. Absolute perfect time to do a general strike in November, December, obviously, if you can do it. But you would want to do it in November so that you could be like, hey, we'll stop in December and then everyone can have a Merry Christmas. If you make like one change, make like one demand or two demands and say, like, you're going to do this. Or we're going to, like, every other day, we're not going to show up to work. Millions of us. Okay. Oh, I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get fired. Yeah, look, I know. It's, sacrifice. Okay. It's either we sacrifice now or we literally acquiesce freedom and liberty to the fascist dictatorship. And if I've done anything successfully, hopefully with the hours and hours and hours of content, I've proven to you that it is indeed a fascist dictatorship. And if you're like, yeah, that's unquestionable, if you've come to that conclusion, this obvious conclusion, you have to act. You have to act, and like not acting is an act. Okay, your inaction is a decision.
Over in November of last year in support of Palestine. I mean, you can just go through every time there's been mass protests, what has that led to? And usually nothing.
So what's the alternative?
I support people protesting however they need to protest. As you said before, like, just marching in the streets is easy to ignore. Sometimes you got to speak a language that they can't ignore. I mean, look at 2020, when 2020 popped off. I mean, Chauvin was denied a plea deal at that time because Bill Barr said he was worried about more escalation. So, I mean, that's recent proof that riots work. So yeah, I mean, targeted property destruction, I think, is a great tactic for those that are willing to do it.
How can you avoid?
And it's like, this is the problem with these elements here, these uncontrollable elements, is that really that I mean, we can shut things down without burning stuff. Okay, that's actually possible. And this doesn't even look like a corporate thing. This doesn't even look like a corporate storefront. This doesn't look like an Ace Hardware. This looks like mom and pop up and down right here. Mom and pop hardware store over here. Look at the signage. Print black and white printer on fucking pink paper. Look at the signage. This isn't fucking Home Depot. So no, I couldn't disagree more with that assessment. I do agree that it makes things serious, but it's hard. It's hard to tell. It's hard to ask people to sacrifice their job, right? To put your job in danger. And I guess it is easier than a general strike to do violence, to do property damage than to do it, because all it takes is one or two motivated people, and boom, you're burning down a building. A general strike would require the sacrifice of thousands, and likely lead to thousands of firings and have all kinds of repercussions. A general strike needs to be larger than a single day of just not showing up to work, because we need to take care of the people that are going to lose their jobs, right? So we have to organize and fundraise while the government is preventing us from doing that. It needs to be that next step. And that's why No Kings needs to turn into the general strike movement. And they're not going to do that because they're tied to corporate interests.
Getting in trouble when you have to do targeted property destruction.
No face, no case.
What's the dopest example of targeted property destruction that comes to mind, besides January 6th?
I think that the people in Atlanta, some of which are still on trial, deserve so much fucking credit for their efforts to stop Cop City. I think that what they did really is so admirable.
Well, okay, there's a big difference between burning down a mom and pop hardware store and disrupting a construction yard that's building a fucking warrior cop training facility / gulag. Yeah, I mean, so it's everything. Context matters, because I absolutely support disrupting this, right? Tying yourself to the equipment, sabotaging the equipment. Oh, that's terrorism. That's terrorism. I mean, I think it's fair to say that the police are training themselves to commit terrorism against us. So context really does matter here. It really, really fucking does matter. But the problem is that these elements are uncontrollable. They're uncontrollable. So I feel very hesitant to acquiesce to their, to their tactics, knowing that there's no real way to truly, I don't know. It feels like, I don't know, maybe it's my desire for control, right? But there's no way a legitimate leftist political person who wants to be elected can get in front of a crowd and say property damage good, to say eco-terrorism good, even if they do kind of tacitly agree that, something needs to be done. It just never makes sense in a democratic electoral sense to be advocating for those kind of tactics. There has to be a separation between the legitimate politician that represents democratic socialism, progressivism, and there has to be separation between those people who are running for politics and versus the people that are on the ground slowing things down, making them spend millions and millions of dollars, right? Making the project more and more untenable, trying to make this a very expensive endeavor. Yeah, I guess those are my thoughts.
Have been accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at police and torching construction equipment, among other acts.
And they faced the most serious consequences from state repression.
What sort of consequences for somebody unfamiliar?
So 61 of them got RICO charges, which just recently sounds like they're dropping, but there's still a handful that do have domestic terrorism charges.
And that could land them in federal prison for a while, right? Yeah. Well, is it a Georgia state RICO?
I think it's state RICO. Do you remember if the domestic terrorism charges are federal or state? I can't remember if they're all state or not. I can't remember either, but I feel like something like domestic terrorism charges would be federal, right?
Yeah. Well, if it's a state RICO, you guys familiar with Young Thug?
Yeah.
He beat his state RICO.
Here is an interview with two self-described anti-fascists who've been in the game for a while, and just to clarify, had absolutely no hand in the killing of Osama.
You're doing the intro to the interview in the middle of the interview?
Thanks so much for making the time.
Weird.
I appreciate it. So I guess the first question off the bat is, how would y'all describe yourselves politically?
I'm an anti-fascist.
All right. All right. You get it. You get it. You get it. You know, I'm not going to do the whole thing here. There's obviously, it's like literally an hour and 10 minutes. It's really a thick one. This is the kind of work that Channel 5 does, and I just want to applaud them. You know, I really do. I just want to applaud their work. Andrew Callahan, today was a good day. Ice Cube 2, the sequel. Really, honestly, doing a fucking super impressive job. I just want, one more time, I just want to see Andrew Callahan walking towards the camera, all G'd up, like he's going to bust out the raps. Hold on, where is it?
Speak.
Knock the soul.
Person into
I missed it.
That is how we're going to stop them from continuing to do.
There was a lot of energy. How they.
Where's today was a good day, Andrew Callahan? Where is he?
The real die. I was
there
able
he
to
is. Big props to a real one. Ice Cube 2, the sequel. Andrew Callahan. Ya boy. Make sure you like and subscribe, folks. Channel 5. I've forgiven him for his, you know, whatever happened with that bullshit. I've forgiven him. I actually have more stuff, more protest stuff to cover, so we're going to stay on that tip here. Yep, we got Massachusetts. Here's Boston, right here.
Millions of people across the country marching
Look at this
as
ocean
we
of
speak
people.
against the policies of President Trump. This is Boston. Look at that. Look at this. Millions of people across the country marching.
Thank you. Thank you, Velshi. Or was that the other one? No, maybe that wasn't Velshi. I don't know. See, here we got more. Oh, yeah. So this is that AI video that's... Okay, come on. Really? Well, so this was supposed to be the video that Donald Trump flying around in an airplane. Okay, hold on. Trump... Yeah, okay, literally, I don't even have to fill it out. I guess I already searched for it. But yeah, look at this, dude. This is really nuts. So it's him. This is him posting it, by the way. This is a truth. I posted this truth. So it's him in a fighter jet, wearing a crown, a king's crown. Yeah, and then he's dropping liquid shit on civilians. This is supposed to be a good thing. This is, you know, I guess. I mean, of course, the right wingers love it. They think it's funny, but they would also, you know, they would cheer when Donald Trump says, "I'm the president to all people. I'm the president to all Americans. All Americans love me." He posted this. You know, obviously he didn't make it, but he sees himself in a crown. I love it. He sees himself dropping feces on Americans. I love it. Post it. I love it. I mean, like, mental illness? Anybody? No? You know? And like Joe Biden, you know, I mean, it really was like there was a huge difference. And like the excuses, of course, the right-wing media. It's because the oligarchy hated Joe Biden. They wanted Donald Trump. They want to make Donald Trump work. Welcome back, Smash. If Donald Trump wasn't all pro like tariffs and stuff, the entire oligarchy would be super happy. You know, media consolidation would be happening. They'd be thumbs up. That's great. We're happy to turn into right wing. You know, stenographers, no problem. Happy to do that. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Bartiwomo. Oh, this is a good one. I think this was out in LA. This is another good one. Yeah, no, this is in San Francisco. Looks like I Bleed San Francisco black and gold or whatever. So she's a sports fan. Fascists can oligargle these nuts. Hell yeah, boy. Hell yeah, boy. So this is kind of related to the protest stuff. Grab him by the nussy. I guess this is a good time to show that meme I posted in the meme section. That's what we do now. But no, this is great. Grab him by the nussy. What's up? Nussy looking fresh. Nussy looking good. Slap it. Look how stretchy it is. This generation is some of the best and worst people. It's true. Yeah, we're kind of touching on both sides, aren't we? There's not been a Lena Khan or Gary Gensler actually enforcing anti-corruption law. I wonder if the capital class wouldn't have gone all in on Trump. I mean, really. Touching the tips over here. Exactly. No, I mean, socializing sapien, totally. But no, this is related. So judge tells Homeland Security that Chicago agents wearing body cameras was quote-unquote not a suggestion. So we're getting closer and closer to maybe arresting an ICE agent for just directly violating the law. You know, maybe we can actually have some accountability for these kidnappers and criminals who've had 6 seconds of training. Telling you folks, I'm telling you fellas, okay? I'm telling you fellas, that's all I'm saying, okay? Get your booty out there, fellas. I don't want to hear no excuses. Okay, this video requires, of course, this video's still up. All that other shit's censored, but this one's still up. But this guy eating it, like super duper eating it. This is kind of a long fucking conversation, quite frankly. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going to challenge myself to maybe not have a long conversation about this. So I'm going to show it, but I'm going to have to blur it out in a couple places, okay? You'll see. We're just going to let it play. This guy, he where it begins is this guy just got done shouting like a racist slur, shouting a bunch of slurs, right? The protests are happening around him and he's antagonizing them and shouting slurs and stuff, right? You know the kind of right winger, right? Let me just get my blur filter going here 1 second. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna let it play.
Let's go ICE! Let's go ICE!
Let's go ICE.
God bless Trump! God bless Trump!
Right. Okay. So these old guys, look, they're expressing their right to speak, right? I completely and utterly disagree with them, but they do have a right to speak. Gross old racists, no doubt about it. Goofy as shit. Okay, they openly support of fascistic pedophile, even now, right? Triple Trumpers, right? They'll buy the bullshit until the very, very end. Buy the bullshit until the very, very end. With all that said, they have a right to do what they're doing. They're not breaking any law. They're doing exactly, this is America. Like it or not, right? Well, soon it won't be. Soon, because, if, not because of leftists who don't believe in free speech, but because these guys actually don't believe in free speech. They believe in speech only for them. And soon that's the world that they're going to have. But right now, in this perception of fair free speech, they're not breaking any laws.
God bless Trump! Yeah, fuck you! Ride your bike, you fucking fag! Go get a job!
Right. So young leftist, like a teenager, looks like, steals the guy's glasses right off his face. Right after he shouts FAG slur, right after he shouts a homophobic slur. Yo, from south to Boston, we're just watching this here. So this is what happens after that. Right, so this, he's not exactly, young fella anymore. Maybe back in the day he could have kept up, but something unfortunate happens. Right, and he really beefs it too. Like he went in like face first, went in there. But it gets even worse though, because the second time he goes down is because somebody tripped him.
you know, and it's like this, I don't, you know, it's not cool. It's really not cool. It's really not cool. I've seen some commenters say that the trip is justified because he's like manhandling people and stuff, and I didn't really see that. So anyway, I got to blur this part. He goes face down into the curb. He goes face down right into the curb that's in front of him to the left. He goes right into that motherfucker, and it opens up his forehead. You know, he hits it pretty hard. And to his credit, you know, and there's other leftist protesters that are like, bro, please stop. You got to stop. Okay, he really cut himself open there. You know, gonna have to couple stitches and maybe a mild concussion here. Props to this guy though. He keeps chugging. He's not done yet. He's still swinging. Okay, and he's still going, and the leftist, the young leftist, is still taunting him with his stolen property.
You guys are gonna get your ass beat if you don't quit. I'm serious.
Hey, get your buddy.
Right, so there's other leftists that are like, you're starting to create a scene. You're going to create a kind of mob kind of situation. I don't know if it's hilarious because what this, you know, they're licking the chop. I guarantee you every right wing, this is the thing that they're focusing on. I think this is the most exciting thing that happened the whole day. But I guarantee you every right wing grifting, this is it. This was every protest. This represents all of it. And it's like, well, they're going to do that anyway. But we as leftists need to discourage this behavior. Even if we can't control every single person, we do need to stand up. We do need to say no, and in the moment, other leftists should have, and they do. Other leftists step up, and they try to de-escalate, and they try to say, hey, you got to get out of here. You know, you're like this is not good. Things are going to get worse. So we need to continue to police ourselves and hold ourselves to a higher standard than the bigots who did January 6th held to, right? Bringing out nooses, bringing out a hangman's gallows, etc., etc. No, stealing somebody's property, and these weren't just shades. I believe these were his glasses, right? My glasses have transitions as well. My in sunlight outside, not when I'm inside, but outside, my glasses will turn dark like sunglasses. So no, I don't think it's appropriate to be stealing somebody's glasses off their face.
Back up, man! You ran into me. What the fuck?
Right. So now, he's like disoriented and stumbling through the crowd because he's about to fucking pass out, and he's like, you know. So I mean, is he in the right to do that? No, absolutely not. Okay, just because his property was stolen, that doesn't give him the right to manhandle and run into other people, right?
Back up, man! You ran into me. What the?
No, that was intentional. This was, you know, this doesn't help. This isn't good. This shouldn't be the left. This should be discouraged. That was intentional. That was completely intentional, and he's dishonestly pretending that he ran into him. This should not be the left. This should not be people who represent the left. We're not justified in doing this. It's not cool. It's not pro-democracy. It's not peaceful. It's not justified. This is not cool. This was intentional. And then he cries like a bitch.
Man, you ran into me.
He fucking cried. Oh, you ran into me. He cries like a bitch. No, that is not the left. We should not be encouraging this behavior. That's bitch-made behavior.
What the fuck?
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Right, he's still, yeah, and here's the young whippersnapper right here with the glasses, and I guess we're getting some content too. Doesn't represent the left very well. Doesn't make us look good. Doesn't help. In fact, you know, these two individuals did an incredible amount of damage to the movement. You know, they gave the right wing exactly. Millions of people across the nation and across the world behaved themselves.
But 2 individuals took it upon themselves to bully this guy, and the right wing has everything they need. Now, they would do it anyway. We saw them attempt to do it anyway, right? Without seeing this video. Before this video came out, they were doing it. But these 2 people should be admonished. These people should be, right? That's a bad thing, right? I think these people should be shit talked on. They should be criticized, not canceled, but criticized. Hashtag more Lenny, 100%.
Trip his ass! Trip his ass!
Trip his ass. Trip his ass. These people should be identified by the left. The left should dox them. And they shouldn't be canceled, but they should be, hey, you didn't help. Don't do that. Don't be encouraging violence. Okay? The left has no... We literally just saw anarchists show a fucking instruction video that they show other anarchists on how to dox racists. So if we're going to the trouble to do that with racists, I do believe we should do that with leftists that ruin the movement, that hurt the movement. We should be calling them out, not canceling them, but admonishing them, right? Let me double check. Yes, warn or reprimand someone firmly. Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Yes, that's the exact definition of the word. Yes. These leftists should be, this guy should be admonished.
Dump you, dude. What are you doing? Get out of here.
He's trying to get his fucking glasses back. He probably can't even drive home. He probably can't see very well without his fucking glasses. No, because this guy should be, I don't if he doesn't know what's going on, then he shouldn't be doing this. But people in the crowd should be like, can we get this guy's glasses back, please? That's the appropriate response here. Yeah, he was calling people FAG. We are better than this. Yeah. People, look, man, if we're going to do it to racists, we should do it to people that are fucking the movement up. This guy deserves, he shouldn't be doxxed. Okay? But people shouting trip him and then tripping him? No. We have to do better. We have to police ourselves. I'm not saying cancel. I'm not saying fire. But I'm saying, hey, that was not cool. Admonish. There needs to be at least a slap on the wrist for actively giving the right wing exactly what they want. We're not better if we don't prove it. We're not better if we just turn into a violent mob like everything else, like everybody else does. And we don't police it. We don't have accountability for ourselves. We make excuses for ourselves. Then we're not better than anybody.
You need to go. I don't want you to get hurt more than you are. I don't know where they are.
And he's like, I got to get my glasses. Then if you're not going to help me get my glasses, then I'm going to get my glasses back. Right. I don't know what happened. But these leftists over here should be, look, yeah, they should be like, just give him his glasses back. Can we get his glasses? Let's get his, and then we can get him out of here. Okay. Getting him his glasses back doesn't mean you politically agree with this guy. Getting his glasses back is de-escalating the situation and deflating the situation, not shouting, trip him, get him. That's not de-escalating the situation. And yes, people that are escalating the situation and encouraging violence should be admonished if they're out there representing the left. Okay? And if don't dox them, then what do we do? Okay, then fine. If we don't want to dox them, that's too far for you. At the very least, leftists of influence should be showing this video and repeating what I'm saying, which is like, that's not cool. We shouldn't be doing that, at the very least. Okay? Because this was, I guarantee you, I don't even need to click, I don't even need to go look. But this is like, right wing, yes, awesome, finally. Because they're like, oh, nothing violent happened. How do we spin this? Oh, something violent happened. Awesome. Yes, here we go. This represents the whole left. Let's go crazy. 45 minutes. You're telling me Tim Pool didn't do 45 minutes on this video?
Beery, we need to have accountability. If we're going to claim that we're better, if we're just going to devolve into a bunch of violent animals, stealing people's personal property, and encouraging more violence against them, then we're not better. Then we're not better. Okay, he beefed himself. Like, the first one is totally his own fault. Okay, the first fall is completely his own fault. The second one was a trip by a person wearing an American flag. And that's supposed to represent America, tripping an old man so he cracks his head on the fucking pavement. Well, he said FAG. Not good enough. Welcome to free speech land. Welcome to the world where people say things you disagree with. And that's the, and you just got to suck it up. That's the American definition of free speech, and I believe in that shit. Free speech is not defined by the things you agree with. Free speech is defined by the things you disagree with. So, okay, maybe I went too far by saying doxing, but I don't know. At the same time, we're so willing to dox racists. Why would we be unwilling to dox people that are counterproductive and handing the right wing propaganda red meat? We should be admonishing that. But it's, look, if doxing is too far, at the very least, leftists of influence should be showing this video and saying the leftists that were encouraging people to commit violence should be ashamed of themselves. Okay, if doxing is too far, at the very least, leftists of influence should be saying this is not how the left should be acting, and the leftists that perform this violence and encourage this violence should be ashamed of themselves. I don't think that's going too far. We're better than these people. We're better than the right, and we need to fucking prove it. And that means we don't get to have as much fun as they get to have. Suck it up. All right, so there we go. I was actually able to get through that video. Good. All right, here we got some news clips here. Wanted to cover various
large crowds across the U.S.
various international angles, and there's a lot of great footage over here. Real quick, let's do this one. Sorry, I'm burping up my chai tea. It's delicious, even the second time around. Why do I say these things? Why do I disgust you? Why am I a disgusting person? That's why I'm Vorsh. All right, I'm Vorsh. I am Vorsh, the golem version of Vosh. This old man is not your battle. Ship has sailed as weakness. I agree. Incredulous buffoon. I agree. They're already deemed all of us as terrorists by default. I agree, Rebel Phoenix, but that is not an excuse to allow that behavior to fester within the movement. Even though that they are going to do that disingenuously, and they're going to do that anyway, we still have to be better than them. Yeah, Smash. I'm just saying, no one was bitching about doxing when the anarchists were literally showing the instructional video they show to other anarchists to dox racists. No one's tripping about doxing, but now we talk about doxing to police ourselves, to make our movement better, to get some accountability for folks that are, that are ruining our movement, and now we got a problem with it, which is pretty interesting in my opinion. And I'm not saying you, Smash, were like silent or whatever, but I'm just saying in general, the left does appear to have kind of a double standard with this. Because I don't think I disagree with doxing racists and bigots, right? People that are Sieg Heiling and in Charleston, right, carrying tiki torches. I think I'm okay with fascists and racists and bigots being exposed. So if I'm okay with that, I need to kind of apply a more equal standard, at least in my belief. I don't think the left should get a break on that shit either. But I do agree it's extreme, though, and I don't want to get doxxed. I don't use my real name, right? I'm not interested in getting doxxed, but I'm also not interested in committing crimes. I'm actually interested in criminals getting convicted. If I was there, I'd be trying to find the guy's glasses. I'd be like, I don't agree with you, whatever, right? You shouldn't have said that shit, but let's get your glasses. Let's get you out of here. You need to go to the hospital. Hopefully, I'll get you back your glasses and you'll go straight to the hospital. That's what I would be trying to do in that moment. Even after seeing that guy yell, yeah, you bunch of FAGs. I'm a badass. Right? He was a badass until some 17-year-old literally took the glasses off his face like a cartoon character. So even seeing him make a complete fool of himself,
my reaction would be, okay, this has gone way too far. You got blood pouring out of your face. Okay, let's de-escalate. I certainly wouldn't be yelling, trip him, fuck you, yeah, you deserve it, yeah, you know, shoving a camera in front of his face and screaming, fuck you. Here's J.B. Pritzker scaring the shit out of the administration. This is the kind of fuck that isn't going to be saying general strike. It's really great that the mayor underneath him is saying general strike at a protest, but J.B. Pritzker is never going to say general strike. And that's why we need to organize outside of this indivisible, right? We need to organize outside of the establishment approved routes. You're more to the center. I'm a democratic socialist, whatever the fuck that means to you.
Will turn someday. These people should recognize that maybe they're not going to get prosecuted today, although we're looking at doing that.
Maybe.
But they may get prosecuted.
But they may get, don't you love this? Can't even give me a stone cold promise that I'm going to do everything in my power. We still get this mealy about, oh, well, they may not get prosecuted today, but maybe in the future, maybe one day, vote blue no matter who and cross your fingers. Oh, they might see some accountability. Maybe. I'm going to hedge. Maybe. I'm not even willing to give you a concrete promise. I'm going to hedge on that one. Yeah, accountability for kidnappers and human traffickers? Yeah, no, gonna maybe on that one, just in case. Vote blue no matter who.
Prosecuted after the Trump administration for the things that they did because the statute of limitations.
No, yeah, maybe with a may in front of that statement, you can just go crazy. And Mr. Patriot, Mr. I hate ICE, right? Well, maybe I do.
Have run. You know, we had the immigration services, the ICE and CBP doing their jobs before the Trump administration, but they were doing it within the law. Now they're acting like a bunch of thugs and taking away people's free speech rights. Yeah. They're taking away
because I've shown you 3 or 4 clips of his police basically assisting ICE. And there's dozens of cases every single day of ICE barking the police around. You go here, you go there, meet us here, meet us there. Oh, there was a suspicious looking black person over there. Barking his police around, doing whatever they want to do. They're not allowed to wear masks. There's all kinds of, there's supposed to be rules and stuff. Oh, you better not do it, completely flaunting all that. Well, okay, well, maybe we'll do something about it, and I'm just going to let my police help, and I'm going to be a loud voice on MSNBC.
Rights, by not identifying themselves. They're coming in with masks on. They're coming in with unidentified vehicles.
They don't.
These are all.
You're right. The right don't turn down the heat. They want to crank up the heat. That does not justify the left stealing the property of old people and encouraging violence against them. That actually doesn't justify that. We have to be better. That means we get to have less fun. I know it's so much fun to watch a bigot bleed from the forehead, right? I'm not crying Evita for the guy. Okay, but are we better or not? Are we a better movement? Are we more moral? Do we, or not? Or are we just as violent and mob-like as everybody else?
Things that need to be taken up again by an inspector general or somebody investigating at the federal level because they have immunity at the state level. But we're looking at how we might be able to.
Might be able. Is Donald Trump busting out the mights and maybes when he's making promises to folks? Is he busting out the hedging? Is he hedging? Oh, well, maybe we won't, if you think about it, maybe we won't be able to accomplish that. Right? J.B. Pritzker, I'm a fucking slick Willie over here. Clinton, he looks like he's 2 Clintons combined. He's the fucking, he does the, okay, whatever. The fusion dance. He does, two Bill Clintons do the fusion dance, and this is the fucking creature that comes out of it. Maybe, how might be able, might be, right now in an existential crisis, his ass might get thrown in fucking jail, and he's still hedging. He's still setting those fucking expectations. Where's the fire? Where's the brimstone? Where's the outrage? Well, gotta hedge my bets. I don't know if I'll get the votes, and I don't know if I can, maybe we can try to look and find some consensus before we look forward instead of backwards, and then none of these people are held accountable, because that's really the direction I want to go in.
be able to hold them responsible despite the fact of federal immunity.
Catch the latest on this story at Fox.
We have literally had Antifa paid activists, right? Can you give me a shred of evidence? It's total bullshit. Could you give me a shred of evidence, UK cowboy? I'm curious. I'm curious where you got this information. Give me a link. Did you pull it right from your ass? Or did you pull it from someone else's ass? Go ahead and give me a link. Exactly. It's all about SART. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. The anti-Semite doesn't have to take anything seriously. It's a fucking game to them. While we, the leftists, grounded to reality and actually trying to make people's lives better, have to work within the bounds of reality and rhetoric. If you don't want to get kicked out, I'm about to ban you forever and ever and ever. So if you want to stick around, yeah, you're going to have to provide some proof to your ridiculous claim. Yeah, no doubt about it. Or you can just leave on your own recognizance because you don't have the link. One or the other. One or the other, buddy.
What do you want? Justice! What do you want? Justice!
From coast to coast, millions of Americans took to autumnal streets today with signs, banners, and colorful costumes. Towns and cities, big and small, hosting over 2,500 protest events. Their message, this is a republic ruled by a constitution, not a king.
We got to point out to the country that people are paying attention, that 49.9% of the vote is not a mandate to rip apart the Constitution.
I mean, it couldn't, no one could have said it better right there. That really, to me, that's the statement of the protest right there. That getting it really wasn't this blowout majority either when you look at the numbers, right? It was a decent win. And Greg Palast said, there's some, in some states there's some interesting evidence that it was outright stolen. But obviously we won't get into that. But I couldn't have said it better right here. Winning an election, not a barn burner by any means, but not exactly a squeaker either, right? But winning an election, in that way does not give you a mandate to completely transform America into a fascist dictatorship.
Not a king.
We got to point out to the country that people are paying attention, that 49.9% of the vote is not a mandate to rip apart the Constitution.
I'm against the overreach of power. I believe in 3 branches of government. There's just been almost too many things to list.
I'm still waiting on that link from that right-winger with the proof that Antifa was paid to whatever the fuck he said, something about agent provocateur. Antifa doesn't even, so like we're bringing, just wholesale bringing all the language from America into the UK for Nigel Farage, right? Now you have a problem with Antifa now as well, on top of the brown people in boats. You're just going to bring that on over. It's so pathetic. It's so uncreative, right? Just applying copy and paste Chat GPT, applying the MAGA template to whatever right-wing movement happening in whatever European democracy, it's fucking pathetic. We saw Pierre Poilievre flirt with it until the 51st state language. And now there's only one politician in Alberta that continues with the MAGA shit. Not even Doug Ford, who looks like he is a clone and a failed clone of Donald Trump and sometimes acts like it. Even he is standing firm against Donald Trump, and it's all because of the 51st state language. Shut the fuck up, UK cowboy. You're not getting shit. All right? Take the dick out of your fucking hand and quit wasting my fucking time. Embarrassment, Antifa, getting paid, huh? Show me the fucking proof, time waster.
And there's just been almost too many things to list.
I think that the state of the world that we are in right now is really horrible. I want my rights back. I'm off. I need Trump out of office. And yeah, no kings. That.
10 months after being sworn in for the second time, organizers accused Donald Trump of trying to warp the role of president into that of a monarch, bypassing Congress to rule by executive order, breaking norms and weaponizing the justice system against his perceived enemies and in favor of his supporters. Former Congressman George Santos, the latest of whom, to have his 7-year jail sentence for wire fraud and identity theft commuted overnight. Just this week at the White House, which he continues to redecorate in his own gilded style, with plans for a $250 million ballroom. Trump unveiled his Napoleon-esque proposal to celebrate America's 250th birthday next year with a triumphal arch in Washington, D.C. Already being dubbed the Arc de Trump, Democrats have criticized the plans to build such a monument.
Not going to bring up Hitler's Ark. We're going to make this a fucking Napoleon thing? Really? Really? Who is this? Who is this? Channel 4? Really? Not even going to show the Hitler's Ark? Really? We're going to sane wash the Ark, guys? Not even going to mention Hitler's one? Really?
For America's quincentennial, supposedly a celebration of ditching an authoritarian king. Trump's denied the characterization of his leadership.
A king. This is not a king. You know, they're referring to me as a king. I'm not a king.
Welcome back.
Thousands poured into Times Square in Trump's...
I'm still trying to get into Red Dwarf. I don't know what it is. I love UK comedy. I don't know what it is. I'm just bounced right off Red Dwarf. One of these days it'll click. But I watch an episode, I try to watch an episode and I'm like, man, I don't know. Just not clicking with me.
Home city of New York to disagree. Organizers say more than 5 million people turned up for their last protests in June, making it one of the biggest in U.S. history.
Oh, really?
Even bigger crowds are expected today, prompting Republican governors in several states to place National Guard troops on standby. It's unclear how visible the military presence will be. Republican leadership has been trying to tarnish those turning out.
I like that the old school Doctor Who's, they always have these incredibly gorgeous women. That's just like these whoa, these UK hotties from the 60s, right? So that keeps me interested for a little bit, but the gobbledygook, it's just like blah, 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 blah. They'll stand in a room and talk for 6 minutes, bro. And it's all made up gobbledygook. Got to put the flamble danger in the googly gobbler, and we got to go back in time, and it's okay. It's fun. It's fun though. It's fun though. Those ladies from the 60s though, huh? Those go-go boots. Go.
You're going to bring together the Marxists, the socialists, the Antifa advocates, the anarchists, and the pro-Hamas wing of the far-left Democrat Party. Yeah. That is the modern Democratic Party. Right. That's where they've gone.
I mean, they've been calling Democrats, yeah, exactly. Here's a real communist, but they've been calling Chuck Schumer and the Democratic Party Democrat or communists since Barack Obama. It literally means nothing coming from them. They call us everything, anarchists, communists, everything. We're just everything to them. Anything that isn't licking the boots of Donald Trump is, Karl Marx reincarnated. Yeah, I wish, exactly.
Democratic leadership has struggled to recover from last year's bruising election loss. Their defeated candidate has been encouraging Americans to use their voices today.
I encourage everyone to get out there in peaceful protest.
Where the fuck were you, huh? You don't have time, huh? You encourage everybody. What, were you eating dinner? Where were you, huh? What march did you go to, huh? Kamala, huh? How about you just please, just honestly, and this is not racist, this is not sexist, but please, for the love of God, stop. Unless you're in the streets, don't be talking about getting in the streets dressed in a fucking $5,000 outfit in some fucking fancy, that doesn't look cheap, whatever it is, it don't look cheap room that you're in. Just stop.
Of what is happening in our country and express our voice around the country we believe in. So get out there and...
Robotic, pro-democracy, talking points, get in the streets, Indivisible supports this. She'll never support a general strike. She's not a leader. It's I don't even know. Are you trying to sell a book? You trying to hold on to a career? Are you thinking about running again? What are you even trying to do here? Because the motivation for you doing this has nothing to do with a fucking real-ass protest movement.
Join the No Kings event near you.
Leading Democrats like Senator Bernie Sanders are expected to address crowds over the coming hours. The question for the party is how can it use this movement to bolster its chances of taking back Congress at midterm elections next year to curtail Trump's regal tendencies.
Cute. That's one way to define fascism. Regal tendencies, huh? That's cute. That's adorable. That's a new one. That's a fucking new one. It's just amazing the things you can do with the English language.
Joining rallies against the Trump administration. More than 2,500 protests under the banner of the No Kings movement are taking place. The protesters say they are standing up against Donald Trump's authoritarian policies, accusing him of believing his rule is absolute. Top Republicans have condemned the gatherings, calling them Hate America rallies.
A constitution, not a king.
God damn. That's so perfect. That's so amazing. As stupid as it looks. Amen. So many Americans know. You know, there is some value to these kind of safe protests, right? Because it, like, people just like, yeah, no, we're not alone here. We're not crazy. So, you know, sometimes being a leftist, you know, in a very right-wing area can feel very isolating. And it could feel like maybe I am crazy, you know, maybe I am the strange one. But that is just not the case. Millions, and it's not just 7 million, okay? It's tens of millions of Americans have no interest in what the right wing is doing. No interest whatsoever.
A constitution, not a king.
You're not alone.
It's a rallying cry for protesters all across the United States. More than 2,500 events are being held under the banner of the No Kings movement.
Yeah, Promethean, yeah.
Demonstrators
really
say they're fighting against the Trump administration's authoritarian policies. With his vast immigration crackdown, mass fire...
You know, and no impeachment. Where are the Democrats on impeachment, right? Nothing. Not a peep. Not a peep. No obstruction. Hell, they're voting and nominating some of these people. No obstruction. No push, barely any, only rhetorical pushback. Only, you know, and of course, I can't say that completely, right? Because, they're not acquiescing to the Medicare cuts, and that's why the government is shut down. So I'm being hyperbolic there. But yeah, no, I mean, like, is it really a waste of time and money to be impeaching Donald Trump? Pick one. Pick a crime. Pick one. He commits a crime every day. He commits a crime almost every single day. So pick one and start that impeachment process. Do we think in any universe on any planet, if the shoe was on the other foot, right, and this was like comically Joe Biden being a dictator, right, probably at the behest of Israel if he was going to do it, do we think that the Republicans, in whatever power that they have, would not be in the middle of impeachment proceedings? You know, of course they would be. Of course they would be. You know what I mean? That's not even a question. So the fact that the Democrats are not doing that, right? They're resisting this, like, pushback against fascism, is all the reason to insist that they themselves be replaced even now. Oh, we can't do it. What if they win? What if the right wing wins? We go, no, we need to be primarying them and applying maximum pressure from the left. And like, you know, the fact that there isn't an impeachment says everything about this organization. They're not up to it. They don't want to fight. They're all a bunch of Joe Manchins. They're all a bunch of Kristen Sinemas. They have no interest in fighting. And they, you know, in their own way, they would never admit it, but in their own way, they are acquiescing almost totally to fascism. But credit where credit's due on the budget thing. You know, they're not allowing the CR to pass with those Medicare cuts, even though those cuts will absolutely hurt the right wing. They're going to hurt. It's going to hurt everybody, and they're fighting. They're fighting for. I mean, because it really is human suffering. If those cuts were to go through, humans will start suffering very quickly afterwards. And, you know, that's a good enough reason to fight. I don't know if that's the reason why they're doing it, but credit where credit's due. They're not allowing the continued resolution to pass with those cuts. They're saying you have to undo those cuts to people's Medicare. There was a headline yesterday: rural hospital in the middle of fucking nowhere, funded up. It was in operation for 30 years, funded by the federal government, closing up its doors. So before it's even been passed, before the continuing resolution has even been passed, we're already seeing rural hospitals closing. And I don't know what the true motivations for the Democrats is, but, if it means they're trying to save people and get people health care, that's good. That's a good thing. So credit where credit's due.
Policies. With his vast immigration crackdown, mass firing of federal workers, as well as attacks on political opponents, the media, and judicial independence, protesters have outlined a long list of grievances against the president.
He is dismantling every safeguard that we've had for our country and our democracy, and we need to do something. And everyone needs to be out in the streets and saying something, protesting.
People are ready to, at the very least, talk about general strike. Like, I can't do it, but they're more ready than ever to talk about next steps, pushing it farther, pushing it harder. Most people don't want to burn stuff down. They don't want to wreck stuff. Okay, but it's not enough. Showing up for 3 hours, 4 hours, and listening to a couple speeches and going home, it's not enough. And I believe there's an appetite for pushing it to that next level, to getting into the general strike. But without pressure from within, organizations like Indivisible won't feel any need to push for that kind of stuff.
And putting an end to this, because it's not sustainable the way we're going.
In Washington, independent Senator Bernie Sanders accused the Republican Party of submitting to the interests of the wealthiest 1% in American society, Trump included.
Bernie Sanders, who acknowledged the reality of Israel's genocide against Palestine after Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, I love the man, but we got to be pushing. Okay, the era of socialist leftists, progressive leftists, staying quiet and acquiescing is over. It needs to be over. And we need to be openly, you're canceling. You can't cancel. Whoa, you can't cancel. No, we need to acknowledge the fault of some of the intransient, or whatever the word is, entrenched elements that have failed us for decades. As much as, his rhetoric has been on point for decades, he's also acquiesced and capitulated for decades to the neoliberal establishment. Okay? And that needs to be pointed out. Okay, we got to go harder. We have to push harder. Has Bernie Sanders said the word general strike? I'm going to ask the robot. I'm actually curious.
About a billionaire class who believe that they have the divine right to rule, and who not only want massive tax breaks for themselves, but who reject any form of accountability or checks on their power.
And there it is. This is exactly what I'm talking about. All right. I know it's a robot. It's not that dependable, but I'm not going to sit here for 2 hours searching the internet to confirm this or not. I'm going to ask the fucking robot. I couldn't find any reliable record of Bernie Sanders explicitly calling for a general strike in 2025. That's a problem. Okay, this man's supposed to be a leader against the oligarchy, anti-oligarchy tour. Okay, just now acknowledges the reality of the genocide that we've all seen in front of our eyes. I mean, like the first organization to claim it was a genocide, that was like a year ago, and then finally we got UN and the other one as well. Okay, and he hasn't uttered the word general strike at all in 2025. So he's done his nationwide anti-oligarchy tour without even once mentioning general strike. He has spoken extensively in support of workers and strikes, right? Union strikes. He has criticized corporate greed and worker solidarity, but none of the sources I found him saying we should launch a general strike are using that exact phrasing. Okay, anything similar? I searched through recent statements by Bernie Sanders and found no instance where he explicitly calls for general strike. However, he has made strong comments supporting workers' rights and strikes in specific sectors. right? And that's the exact kind of thing he was doing with Israel, criticizing Israel, defund, not defund Israel, but like, remove the weapons, stop giving them weapons, but not going far enough to say, right, it's a genocide, cut off Israel completely. They need to be completely cut off. No government assistance, no money, no weapons, obviously. Okay, it's not. It's if you're telling me that's enough, if you're telling me that's what leadership looks like in 2025 for the socialist left, I'm going to tell you flat out, you're dead wrong, and your rose-colored glasses and nostalgia. I'm not saying primary Bernie Sanders. All right, maybe we can avoid saying that. Okay, but Bernie Sanders is not enough. We need and AOC, who only wants to go as far as Bernie Sanders, is not enough. AOC should be going harder than Bernie Sanders, and I do think she is with the abolish ICE rhetoric, etc. But you know what I'm saying here. It's not enough anymore.
We will.
And I love the man. I fucking love the man.
Not move toward authoritarianism. In America, we, the people, will rule.
Republican politicians have largely dismissed the mass demonstrations, with some referring to them as Hate America rallies. But the protests even drew hundreds to the streets in Florida, where Trump is spending the weekend at his Mar-a-Lago home.
It is intimidating. You do feel silenced, because this is Trump and MAGA country down here. But as you can see, there's a lot who also believe in freedom and that the Constitution still matters.
I'm willing to give AOC a break on the Met Gala because she turned it into a political statement. But that's really not what's bothering me about AOC. What's bothering me about AOC is that where's the ratchet up rhetoric, right? Every camera shoved in front of her face, she should be saying, get in the streets, general strike, complete obstruction, and she's down for some of that stuff, but it needs to be harder. It really does. This is an existential battle, and we shouldn't be afraid to crank up the rhetoric. And I'm not saying go violent, but I'm saying go like attack, go on the offensive, make some news, rattle some cages.
For the millions rallying across all 50 states, that Constitution and the democracy it represents are worth protesting to protect.
For more on this, I'm now joined by...
Okay, we're not doing that. I don't know who this guy is, but we're not doing that. We're moving on. I got to get rolling here in a little bit, so now would be a good time to go over the footage that I actually picked up at the Vancouver No Kings protest. So let me just open up. I'm literally gonna show you video clips that I created. This is weird. This is actual report. Is this actual reporting? Oh, this is crazy. I've never done this before. I don't think I've ever done this. This is fucked up. This is weird. All right, 1 second here. All right, let me just get all these clips in a VLC playlist. Yeah, there we go. Okay, 1 second. Let me just see if we can get the playlist, view the playlist. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, I can have that on the screen. Okay, 1 second. Let me just get the video window capture here. We're going to do that one. Yeah, okay. All right, this is Vorsh reporting. Vorsh on the scene. And it was just me. I didn't have anybody to help me with this, okay? So the camera work is absolutely terrible. And no, we're not going to watch every single second of all the footage that I captured. It looks like I captured about an hour's worth of footage. So we're just going to skip around and stuff. All right, so let's have some fun here. This is footage that I took at the Vancouver No Kings protest yesterday. And yes, it rained the entire time. So you'll hear me like... I had a face mask, I had to cover my camera. Anyway, let's get to it.
Okay, here we are at the protest. Just got here.
All right, you can't see anything. This is great. This is already working out perfect. You literally can't see anything. That's awesome. Why is it doing that? Okay, 1 second. We're not going to do a window capture then. 1 second. Let me remove. We will do a Display capture. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. 1 second here. Let me just go full screen with this bad boy. There we go. Yep, there we go. All right, Vorsh reporting.
Thought I'd show you what it's like to kind of walk up and approach. Just get involved. Looks like we got some speakers.
So this was the get together before the march, right? This is the meeting point for the march. We're all just hanging out, listening to speakers. It went on for 1 hour. I got there a half hour late. Sorry. Went on for about 1 hour, and then we started the march. I actually got an exclusive interview with the organizers, so I'm going to skip to that here in a minute.
Shame.
I just want to show you it's really easy.
See if we can get a good angle here.
All right, I know this is making me nauseous. Okay, here, let me see if I can get yeah, there we go.
Shame.
So I got an interview with this fellow right here. I was just wandering around right before things got going there, and I got a couple things from him there. 1 second.
There have been nearly 500,000 bullets sent from Canada to Israel to commit genocide that have been shot into families in Gaza. To this we say shame.
Shame.
And we know that as we're seeing more attacks.
I wanted something to do because I didn't know what to do, so I tried to focus on as many signs as possible. I tried to get as many cool signs as possible.
On working people, on minorities, on anyone who wants to speak out in the United States and Canada, that we are facing the same enemy and we need to come together. We need unity.
Democracy Rising was out there. These are the rhythm activists or something. They had a cool, funky name.
Last couple weeks.
Blah, blah, blah. Come on.
Who have come out and said, I am going to exercise my democratic rights. I'm going to exercise my human rights because you are trying to take it away from me. And we know that our human and democratic rights were hard fought for and hard won. And we are not going to take them for granted. So let's keep coming out. Let's keep standing together. Let's keep fighting against attempts to divide us, attempts to scapegoat people in our communities, and come together and unite, because through unity we can and will win, and we will build a better world together.
All right.
So thank you very much for Democracy Rising and everyone organizing today. And I also encourage you later on today, if you're not too wet, to come back and join us after the rally. We'll be having our rally for Palestine here at 2 p.m. and every Saturday.
All right.
All right, so here you go. You know.
Could you hold this up so I can get my sweater? Of course.
I was just kind of walking around capturing some candid moments.
All right, just taking a look at all the cool signs.
Yes, and the frog. You gotta
get frog. Got to get that frog solidarity.
Yep.
Awesome. Love to see it. Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
It felt weird shoving cameras in people's faces, so I kept it short with everybody.
I think we will be doing a sidewalk march.
Right.
But we will have.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, so this is part of the protesting. We got an organizer here telling us this is what's going to be going down. We're going to get a police escort, stay on the sidewalks, let's keep it peaceful. This is what it looks like, folks.
Yeah, nothing to be afraid of.
It's not scary at all. And it's definitely not a waste of time, I assure you. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, even a small protest, because it can open your eyes up to the reality that, like I said, you're not alone. Like, there is value even in a small protest and showing solidarity at that level, right? Even if you're not January 6ing every single time, storming the government. At the very least, you're practicing, right? You're getting used to what activism feels like, getting up, making a sign maybe, right? Or at the very least, packing a lunch, hanging out in the rain all day with a bunch of weirdos, right? You're kind of getting used to the idea of activism at the very least. So it's not a waste of time.
We got over here, democracy doesn't fear protesters, dictators do. That's a cool one. see if we can get that sign. That's a good sign right there.
I didn't know what to do. I'm such an amateur.
Nope. All right, I'm going to try to...
Okay, so that's, you know, so let me just go through here. Let me look at the playlist, and we'll just go to the next one. Yeah, one of these has the interview. Come on, play this. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. This is the end of the protest. Hold on. Okay, wrong video. Here we go. Okay, I must have hit the button accidentally. Yep. Okay, that's a blooper.
We are committed to the principle. All right. Rhythm Rebellion.
Rhythm Rebellion. That's the name of the movement out here, and it looks like they're, you know, they sing, and instruments are a big part of their activist movement. Like I said, folks, you know, and like you don't have to be a loud voice. Maybe you just got a loud drum, and maybe you want to, you know, participate that way. There's always room for you somewhere. Okay, whether you're loud and boisterous like I am, or you're quiet and shy. If you the only prerequisite is that you believe in democracy, right? That you're out there and you believe in the principles that made this country great, that made these countries great, Canada included.
Hold on, real quick. I want to show this little man's sign. Rise up, or maybe that's a girl. Rise up.
I'm not good at this.
Pretty cool. Love to see it. Get the kids involved. I don't know. I don't know about bringing kids to the protest in Portland, right? That might be because they're going to want to fight. But yeah, out here in Canada, Vancouver, yeah, bring the kids. Good time.
Okay. My babbling. All right, let's keep it moving.
Another cool sign here. We respect the Charter of Rights and Freedom.
That's great. Yeah. That's kind of the Bill of Rights in Canada, is the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
All right, here we go. Gonna get started.
Hey, ho, Donald Trump has got you go.
Oh, it's a total war zone. I just walked around, tried not to frighten people.
Yeah, absolutely. Good one. Good one.
Looked at various signs. I want to get to this interview I did with this guy. Right, so I was standing up here watching the Rhythm Rebellion for a bit, doing their thing. Oh, yeah, totally Promethean, right? But, I mean, you know, it is what it is.
All right.
Okay, yeah. So I was just kind of milling around. This guy's milling around, too. So I'm like, shoot, I'll just ask you some questions.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here we go.
A little wet.
Here we go. Impromptu interview number 1. I'm a professional.
Got an organizer here. How you feeling, bro?
I am feeling a little wet.
A little wet? Yeah.
But really happy to see all these people here.
Yeah, exactly. Now showing solidarity back in the States, right?
It's absolutely fantastic.
How many people you think are going to show up across the world? It's happening across the world.
Honestly, I have no idea. But, you know,
your brother?
I know, like at some point, like the protests were drawing, you know, millions of people in the States a day.
Yeah.
So I kind of hope for the same thing or more at this point. At this point, it's really obvious.
Yeah.
Kind of the extent to which authoritarianism is like taking hold in the United States.
You guys are pretty obvious. I love
and people like, you know, the media is now starting to use that, at least that word.
Yep.
Like authoritarian or dictator or wannabe dictators.
Yeah, they don't say the F word
yet.
yet.
Not yet. Like, so we've for a while been like explicit saying Donald Trump is a fascist.
Yeah, I know, Harry. I'm like a real jerk.
If you look up kind of what defines fascism, Donald Trump hits 12 of the 14 points at least.
Checking all the boxes.
He's checking all the boxes.
I mean, at least 12 out of 14. I mean, it depends on your list, but
exactly.
I mean, come on. There's the few boxes that he doesn't check are just esoteric things.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? You know, the persecution of minorities, you know, like control over the media. It goes on and on and on and on. It just state influence everywhere.
You know, I always express the importance of organizing on my stream. What would you tell a budding organizer right now? You're in it, you're doing it. What would you tell an organizer right now?
I would tell somebody that, somebody who's already started to organize, or somebody who's just like looking to hop in.
You know, just looking to get in. You know, they don't know what it looks like, but you know, they want to do something. You know,
I would say, like, first of all, like, you're absolutely not crazy. Like, the situation is as dire as you think it is.
Yep.
hopping in any way, whatever way, is so. It's the only way that we're going to get through this. Right?
Yeah, and that's basically what he says. It's the 3-step program, right?
Exactly. So look for organizations in your area. Join them, see if you can help. If there are none, start your own. That's what we did.
Step 1. That's what you did. This is the rebellion.
Not really step 1. That's like
Rhythm
step 4.
Rebellion. Yeah. Oh, you're great. Thank you so much.
Right. So then he jumps off and leads the march, folks. Just boom. He's like a superhero. He's like on the microphone the entire way. He's the one leading the chants and everything. So I really snagged the right interview.
That's the Rhythm Rebellion, folks. That's amazing. Okay, he's got. I kept him too busy there. He's got to go organize. All right, here we go. All right. Especially in Vancouver weather.
In this fight, we will not fail.
In this fight, we will not fail.
Democracy will prevail.
Democracy will prevail.
So it feels awkward and weird, and people are kind of quiet, but it's really important, like, because I've been to protests without the guy, and I think I mentioned in one of these clips this, but I've been to protests without the guy who's like on the bullhorn leading the chants, and it just gets really, really quiet. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily unmotivated or you're bored or whatever, but it's just kind of the nature of things, right? You don't want to be the singular voice singing in a room, right, of people. It's kind of embarrassing. It's just natural. Not everybody is as willing to be a jackass in public like I am, and you'll see me like I'm belting this stuff out, and I like, in retrospect, I was getting a little aggressive with people who were just standing and looking at us. I'm like, fuck Trump, fuck ICE, like I'm looking right at them, while they're looking at us walking by. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm like getting a little intense because like I was just feeling the moment.
Boom. Got the signs ready to go.
These are left over from the last one.
Excellent.
So I wanted to show this right here as well. Like I said before, right? You don't have to be the loud person. You can be the person showing up with signs, handing them out to folks.
Look at that. We got organizers here with signs ready to go. You don't even need to make a sign. Look at that. Boom. Got the signs ready to go.
Yeah, these are left over from the last one.
Excellent. See that? Try to keep them dry. We'll use them again.
I was just trying to be positive. I know I'm being a cornball in the video, but I'm just trying to be like, I'm not trying to be like, because like I know people look at me and they're like, oh, look at this MAGA guy, and so I was trying to be like extra gregarious, right? And I come
all
off
right,
as pretty cheesy.
Homie got himself a sign.
What can I do?
Look at that.
Okay. So we start marching. see people are like, who's this fucking guy? I kept getting looks like this. This is the look I kept getting like, who is this? Okay, it's gonna shoot up the place. He's loud and frightening. I don't like this. So that's just what happens with me. Okay, I'm used to it. Okay, I'm used to it. You need to press back. I do. You're right, Lenny. I should have worn something like that. And I'll do that maybe in the future. So there's my face mask I was using as a rain cover.
Freedom is a human right.
Sorry. Look. I'm not there to be quiet. Okay. I'm not there to be. I'm not there to not be seen. I'm there to be seen. I'm there to be loud. And it's like one of the few opportunities where you get to be loud in public. So you should take.
This guy knows what he's doing, man. He's got the whole thing memorized.
Yeah, talking about the organizer there, but I know it's corny. I'm sorry. I know I'm a cornball.
Donald Trump, you will see. Donald Trump, you will see.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump down.
Right. So I kept doing that to people. The poor people that were just standing, minding their own business. I kept looking at them right in the eyes and was like, down Donald Trump, right? Down with ICE. And I probably shouldn't have been doing that. But it's like, I'm there. I'm there to be seen. I'm there to confront. I'm there to, like, I don't know about getting people's faces, but I was like, no, man, join us. And several people did join. I don't know if it was because of me, but, they were probably just, there for the march, and that's when they jumped in. But it was like, no, get in here. Let's go.
Donald Trump down.
People stand up tall. People stand up. Canada, strong and free.
Canada. Oh, okay. That's right.
I know.
will see.
I'm sorry.
We have solidarity.
We have solidarity.
No tyrants, no oppressors. oppressors. No tyrants, no oppressors.
So we had a police escort, so they were just, you know, we had to wait a couple minutes in some stops while the police got there and set up a little temporary blockade. You know, it's all orderly, and like I said, I think there's room in the movement for both this kind of protesting, orderly protesting, and longer term disruptive protesting. I think honestly we're going to need to do both.
Dictators.
So yeah, I actually literally used to work in this neighborhood, so it was really cool to walk through it again. I used to get my lunch here in this neighborhood quite often. Fun times. Is this the video, or are we playing?
We have solidarity. Freedom can't be.
Trump, no ICE.
Yeah. So I feel bad for this woman. I think this woman right here, I went too far with this woman.
Dictator.
She was smiling at me. I don't know. I don't know. I embarrassed myself with what I did.
Down with Trump. No Trump. No ICE. No Trump. No ICE. No Trump. Right? Right? No Trump, no ICE.
Right, like I'm getting way too confrontational. I need to calm the fuck down, okay? I admonish myself. I'm not proud of myself, okay? I need to learn to leave people alone. Okay? I'm sorry if I embarrassed anybody that was standing around me. I just couldn't just walk by these people that were just like looking at me like I'm an animal in a cage and just not, you know, I'm just that guy. I don't know. But probably shouldn't have done that.
No to ICE.
I was doing it to everybody, dude. I was doing it to everybody. No, I know, Promethean. I'm ashamed of myself, and that's why I showed it to everybody. I was tempted to not show people this, but I'm embarrassed. I'm admonishing myself. I shame myself. It was too absurd. I agree. I need to be more friendly. I agree. I'm in the wrong.
In Vancouver weather.
Okay, but that's the only time I did that. I didn't do it to literally everybody. I toned it down a little bit on the rest of the trip, okay? But I admit it. I went too far. Too assertive.
Exactly. You got that one. That's a good one right there. I like that sign. Exactly. You got that one there. Oh, I like that. We'll be in the revolution. Nice. Nice.
Power in your hands.
Canada.
And once again, the tone of the voice does not indicate your actual excitement level. It's just this kind of like human thing. Like, we're none of us wants to be the super loud, like I said, the super loud person in the room, right? Because it's like, it's everything's cringe, everything's awkward, right? No one wants to step outside of their shells. But the most important thing is that you showed up. The most important thing is that you donate. The most important thing is that you continue to show up. It's not the most important thing that you're shouting and screaming and at every opportunity, right? So don't let the tone get you down, because almost every protest I've ever participated in, the energy sometimes gets like this, and it's just sometimes protesting's hard work, and people start to treat it like hard work. It's not always a party. Good activists, though, like the Rhythm Rebellion here, try to make it a party atmosphere, try to make it exciting, and keep everyone's attention. But this is just human nature. This, like I said, every protest I've ever been to, even the raucous ones, even the ones that are like, anti-war, BLM. There was moments in the protests where things got a little quiet, and whatever.
To beat us all.
This is also a
Come
very,
on in.
Safe protest.
We got more people joining. Looking good, folks. Oh, we got the frog solidarity too. Heck yeah.
The golden frog. Love it. So then the march led to that Cactus Club location that we were looking at on the map there, and that's where the other part of the rally was happening. So we walking up, it was really cool. I didn't think the crowd would be this big at this location, but it was like,
what
wow,
about that Trump
this is
business?
really great. I don't know what you think, but I would say maybe 1,000 people.
Hell yeah!
Around 1,000.
That's right. We're not the 51st state. That's right.
See, I was really just out of control. I really needed to tone it down. This is what happens when I go out in public alone. My wife isn't there. It just, you know, this is why I need you. I need the chat, you know. Yeah, I need wranglers. Okay. It's just like completely out of control.
All right, let's check it out. That's right. Release them Epstein files. All right. Love the sign.
See, they kept looking at me like I was going to kill them. Look, bro. Look, she thinks I'm going to kill her. Why do people look at me like this? They look at me like I just escaped from a cage. God.
Hi. Love the sign.
I got to like reassure people.
Oh. Yeah, you actually got one. You got one of the people who actually got a frog costume. So lucky.
Get to meet a celebrity. I'm going to get a picture with them.
Frog solidarity, baby. Love it.
Like, someone stop me.
All right.
Please get me. I mean, like, it's so cringy watching this. It feels like I'm watching home movies. Like, this is not professional journalism at all. This is terrible.
About 50,000 people.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Megan McDermott, BCCOA's
Awesome.
director, has
That's a good one, too. See, I should have brought one.
Right here in BC.
So I eventually got a sign. Someone, they were like, we're going to go inside. We're cold. Does anyone want this sign? And I was like, okay, I'll take it.
That's a good one. I like that. Heck yeah, exactly. What's the other side say? Fuck yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
good
congratulations. It's still, I'm embarrassing though. I need to stop. I need to stop immediately. Yeah, so here's a good look at the whole crowd. Pretty great stuff, you know. Rainy. Vancouver residents are totally used to it, right? Like, honestly, like if you complain about going somewhere, if you complain about the rain, Vancouver people just roll their eyes at you because it's like, yeah, of course it's raining. Welcome to Vancouver, right? Like you don't let the rain
Pro gear.
prevent you
You got
from,
pro
from
gear
going
going.
outside.
More lions, no kings. That's a good one.
Okay. Terrible camera work. Horrible camera
The few
work.
people that were able to get an inflatable costume off Amazon, love it.
There's like two
I'm
people
jealous.
had inflatable costumes. No one else could get one. Horrible camera work.
Never
I'm
surrender.
fired. I didn't have a tripod or anything. I saw people carrying tripods. I was like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do.
Getting rickrolled. Trump loves hate. Got some damn good signs out there. Ooh, that's a good one right there. American flag with the no kings ending.
And considering this isn't even America, you know? Here we go. Just jumping around a bit here, folks. Nothing too much to see. Oh, you know, I missed the part where I walked up on a right winger. I'll try to find that footage maybe tomorrow and show you. But I basically just asked him, how do you feel about this? And he goes, I'm a fan of Donald Trump. And I go, you're a fan of kidnapping, black and brown people? And he's like, yeah, that's really cool. Basically, that's what went down. And then I walked away. I was like, okay, we're going to do everything we can to defeat you. And then I had to keep walking, right? So, yeah, I stole his glasses and I tripped him.
The sun's out, it's raining.
I was screaming at everyone else to assault him.
Done a pretty good job in the interview.
What am I doing?
He showed up.
Oh, yeah, Barney showed up.
Look at that. What's your excuse?
Oh, no, this guy. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah. What's your excuse? He showed up. He got out of bed, did his business, put his clothes on. It's a Saturday, folks. It's a Saturday. Okay, that's me time.
It's me time.
What's your excuse? We got Barney over here. Barney ripping it. Barney ready to party, yo. Barney's ready to go. Freedom now.
I was tempted to interview Barney, but I don't know. I started to feel awkward. And I didn't want to scare anybody else.
Showing up with their signs. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
Rain, man.
You get it.
My camera.
It was raining. It was like dumping.
It's too crowded. I can't hear anything, though. Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can figure this out.
First with
There we go. I got it here a little bit. I know, bulletproof. It's my own curse.
The really good things about my church was community. Someone had a baby. Someone had surgery.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting too wet. All right. This is a total disaster.
Showing solidarity is very important, regardless of, if it creates change immediately.
Yeah.
People see this message and it resonates with them.
Okay, buddy. Okay, whatever you say, dude.
We got a poutine over patriarchy sign. That's awesome.
Nice jump at the zoo.
Very nice.
Yeah, Craigslist buffoon. Yeah, I would. Yeah. I get like a T-shirt and like a microphone that has my logo on it. Then that could feel like a big boy, and I won't be like, some weirdo pervert shoving a fucking handy cam in someone's face.
Can I use the tripod on that side so we can fix it?
It's probably a good idea.
One thing I've been kind of surprised about is people sticking around a little bit longer than I expected.
Yeah.
People actually listening to the speaker. Just like a lot of the U.S. protests I went to, didn't see as much, I don't know. And maybe it was just the times, right, a couple of years ago. But I don't know. There's just something about it. People seem a little bit more engaged. They seem a little bit more engaged than normal.
Yeah.
God, it's good to see.
Yada, yada, yada. More of the same shit. Right. What am I doing? What am I even doing? What am I doing?
I think we got some agent provocateurs here.
Yeah, like I didn't know what was up with these two. They were stone-faced doing interviews with leftists and whatnot, but they looked bored out of their fucking minds being there. It looked like it was a job to them. Something was up, in my opinion, with these two, but I didn't bother following up on it. It's complete paranoia.
What is this logo?
Get the one piece.
Yeah, something's up with these two. I don't trust them.
I should steal their camera, just run around, run in circles, and trip them and hurt them. That's what I should do.
Finally.
Okay, we're almost done here. Last little bit of footage. I have 2 9-second clips. What could this be? Did I hit the button accidentally? Tripad. Okay. All right. That was essential. We needed to see that. Umbrella, super sus, bro. Something sus about him. Oh, yeah. Someone had taped this up, just on their own. They just taped this up. I thought it was a pretty cool list of things. Good stuff, right? That could be you. That could be you. Okay, so here's the last clip
this sash right here.
Oh, I thank you.
Excellent stuff.
Great sign. Thank you for being here.
Someone handed it to me, so I'm like, heck yeah, I'll take a frog sign. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to see. Canadians are really great.
Okay. Yes, I did sing along. No, we're not going to listen to that.
Here.
Blah, blah, blah. You get it. Everyone having fun. Singing along. No, I will not subject you to me singing. I couldn't help myself. That's fine. But there you go. This was cool. This was actually pretty
Late,
cool.
but you know
like,
what's-
it doesn't, this person showed up at the very end of the protest, and you just made a sign right then and there. Like, maybe they couldn't get out of work in time, but they showed up late and they're like, I'm showing solidarity, even if it's for 5 seconds, right? And they made their sign right there on the floor or right there on the ground, whatever you'd say.
Sorry there.
Right.
Person showing up late, but what's your excuse there, right?
Okay. You want to hear me singing? Okay, here you go.
When the New York City winters are cleaning me, I'm going home. In the clearing sands of
I don't know when they get to it. They just do the line part. Here we go. This is embarrassing. Okay, there you go. You happy? You happy? We're making fun. It's a beautiful song. No, I love it. Yeah, we had some fun. There you go. This guy, I don't know who this guy is. He's like walking around. This guy's a fan. Canada ain't broken, folks. Who's this guy? I was on the case. Yeah, I agree, Woke Patriot. Yeah. It is kind of the greatest hits, right? Kind of recycled every single time, no doubt about it. You need a cameraman. Says who? This is professional business right here. I'm good. Professional. I don't need a tripod. I don't need stabilizing technology. I don't even need a microphone. I just literally run around disheveled, looking freakish, shoving a handy cam in front of someone's face. Nothing abnormal about that. Nuh-uh. No, so there you go. That was the Vancouver No Kings protest. We had a good time. Thank you to Indivisible for organizing it. But, to Indivisible, I would say, let's kick it up a notch, Another protest is not enough, right? What we need is a general strike. I'm convinced of that. That's the next step we have to move in terms of peaceful protesting, right? We got to go general strike. And I understand that even the people in the chat, right? There's people in the chat like, I can't lose my job, dude. Like, it's not happening. I'm going to lose my, it's going to ruin my life. And the job market couldn't be worse, right? The job market couldn't be worse to be trying to pull some shit. It's not like you can easily get another job. If you lose it in a couple months, you're back on your feet. Depending on the industry, it could be, who knows how long. So sacrifice what you can sacrifice. Okay, but if you can't participate in a general strike, you should be donating your money that you're earning from your job. Not all of it, obviously, like $10-20, right? But if you can't protest, if you can't be there physically, you better be, shaving off just a little bit. $5, $10, $20. If you can't show up, if you can't risk your job, and you're making some money, right? $5, $10 towards the general strike movement. And see, this is the general strike movement right here. Thank you, Stream Elements. This general strike movement's been around for a very long time, trying to get participants, trying to get people to sign up. But there's multiple movements doing similar things, right? But if you're not, if you're not if you're not showing up and you're not donating, but you're like, yeah, we got to do it, you're not doing enough. I hate to say, I don't mean to piss on your cornflakes, but you're like, well, I retweeted the general strike thing. But I think most people in the chat understand that that's not enough, right? What the fuck, does it listen for keyboards, or did you do that? No, I literally have it triggered to do it like every 5 minutes. So that's why. Morello has done some interesting solo acoustic work that functions somewhat as protest music. I'd love to bust out some Tom Morello and get some fucking Rage Against the Machine. That's what we should do. Like an a cappella version of Killing in the Name of, Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. You know, let's do some acoustic Rage Against the Machine. Hello, I'm French. What is your channel is about? My channel is about fucking news, the news. And I haven't covered France in a couple weeks, but we did cover the elections, and I did cover the Macron very briefly. Macron putting the same guy in charge that had to quit in shame. What a disaster! It's shocking to me that Macron hasn't stepped down. He just needs to step down. The whole thing, they're like no confidence. The whole government's gonna be ripped up. Everything is gonna have to be redone if Macron doesn't step down. Let me guess, Mr. Baca, you're a Marie Le Pen person, right winger that thinks brown people are ruining your country, right? Dr. Baca, you're a Marie Le Pen guy. Oh, excellent. Hey, all right, nice, yes. Nice. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Dr. Baca. Yeah, because Macron needs to be replaced by somebody who's actually on the left. I sent you the sus umbrella in Discord. Uh-oh. What do we got? Sus umbrella. I know. I saw the Star of David. I saw the Star of David on there. Right. Well, I don't know. It's okay, female eunuchs. If you want the invite, you just let me know. Kind of anarchy guy. All right, that's fine, I guess. I'm not an anarchist, but I smoke weed with anarchists. You know what I'm talking about? All day. All day. All right, folks. Why the fuck are we here? What the fuck are we doing? Well, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. If you're interested in solving these problems, if you're interested in creating a future that your children can enjoy, fixing the problems of the world, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's the only thing that's ever worked. This is the remedy, okay? Step 1, we inform ourselves. Sometimes it's horrific. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's boring. But we inform ourselves because we need to know where we stand, what we believe in. Step 2, we sign up and show up, just like a lot of us did yesterday. No kings, but we got to take it harder. You know why? Because step 3, we got to put in the work. Put in the work. Right? Couple hours, every 2 months, that ain't putting in the work. Right? Showing up to the No Kings protest for a couple hours and then going back to sleep, that ain't putting in the work. We got to go harder. We got to work just as hard as the fascists are working. We got to work harder than Steve Bannon. And I know that motherfucker looks drunk half the time, but that guy puts in the hours. That guy is absolutely 100% dedicated to the destruction of the United States of America. Monday through Friday, he's working hard. Saturday through Sunday, he's working hard to dismantle this country and turn us all into slaves. We need to work just as hard as Steve Bannon or harder. We have to work harder than Tucker Carlson. We have to work harder than Sean Hannity. We got to put in the work like Charlie Kirk was putting in. Every single day trying to dismantle this country. We need to be building. We need to be fighting. Because we're not just up against the fascists. We're up against the entire neoliberal organization as well. Nobody has it harder than a leftist in America. This is one of the hardest political activism jobs around. Okay? Trying to bring leftist progressivism to America, right? That shit's difficult. We have no choice, though. If we want to see brown people feel safe again in the United States, if we want to see our tax dollars being used equitably and sensibly, if we want to see people get educated, we want to see the sick get healed, we have to take over. The left has to take over. We have the right ideas. People love our shit. People absolutely love democratic socialism. It's up to us to put it in their hands, to show them that this is what they want. A lot of people don't even know what it means. A lot of people don't even know what it is. We gotta do that. That's our job. Yeah, and it's all of our jobs. If you know there's a problem, if you know there's a crisis with fascism, you're obligated. You're obligating. Maybe a little less work than Charlie Kirk? Hell no. That guy died. That guy died doing exactly what he fucking believed in. That's the kind of conviction we need to win. We got to work just as hard or harder than Charlie Kirk. Right? We don't just need another Hassan. We need 100 more Hassans. We need 100 more Hassans. We got to put in the work. Or, you know, literally be dismantled. Literally leftism illegal. Literally Russia in America. Right? You're going to be afraid to have an opinion. You're going to be afraid to speak that opinion. You're going to be punished if you do. That's what Donald Trump wants for America. Peace in that motherfucking Middle East. Glory to the Ukrainian democracy. Props to every single motherfucker in the chat. Holding it down. Regulators rule. Hashtag more Lenny. Big props to every single one of you in there. I'll see you, maybe I'll be able to do a stream this week. Maybe. I really have to focus on getting my goddamn music together for the Halloween party. Look forward to the Halloween party coming up this Saturday. I'll be doing a live stream. Live Halloween DJ set. Gonna be partying all night. Make sure you check it out. We do it every single year. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Peace in that motherfucking Middle East. Glory to the Ukrainian democracy. Free Palestine. Abandon nihilism. Abandon nihilism. Take care of yourself. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Harry. Female.
I'm smoking pounds, lock them down with masks on my face. First nigga hit the corner and the last one to leave.
I love a little 1984 Brave New World. Beautiful books.
Hoes want to lick me, laws start to get me. I'm closing shop with Texas blockbusters, can't get with me. Sipping surfing soda, cooking up some coke. Flowers on the switch, wreck your bitches that clover. Rolling fair rover, drop ends on blades. They crooked alligator, little bird getting paid. The botany BGs, pimping hoes getting rich. Slamming foreign doors, dropping number platinum shit. Botany BGs coming down about the brick. This is just some platinum shit.
I want to believe.
BGs acting bad on the set.
I want to believe.
Platinum shit. Botany BGs got them hoes on me.
Shout and screw. Take care of yourself. See you soon.
Botany BGs about the racks number big. This is just some platinum shit. If you didn't know, it's the BGs from that Botany clip. Coming through, dropping nothing but some platinum shit. It's mandatory stack of paper in the hood of hard times. Cook me sitting on buck. With the syrup in the cup. My nigga